and clean, room full of green. A few fans around, eyes all locked on me. She flashed that grin, like she knew the game. Held the room so tight, then she said the phrase. Lean in close, let it ring. Made the whole room start to sing. One hand up, other hand down. Everybody froze when she spun around. How about them exclusive? How about them exclusive? Say it loud, make it stick. How about them exclusive? Blaze up the Xbox fans. Blaze up the Xbox fans. Then she put the games on PS5. Put the games on PS5. Hey, 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 hey. Top got hot in a blink of time. Old head smirked and they lost their mind. Asha kept it slick, like a game night queen. One wink, one flex, then she broke the screen. Fans went wild in the little room, every mouth went wide. Shape of doom, one hand up, other hand down. Everybody froze when she spun around. How about them exclusive? How about them exclusive? Say it loud, make it stick. How about them exclusive? Blaze up the Xbox fans. Then she put the games on PS5. 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 Halo showing on PS5 Pro is crazy. I blinked twice, like, wait, that's hazy. Old green helmet on a new white box. Whole room arguing high score talks. You said exclusives matter, that's the line. Every fanboy got a hill to climb. Asha at Xbox throwing that grin, like which side you on? Let the war begin. Ooh, it's never just a game. It's who gets the name, who gets the win, who gets the friend. Master Chief to PlayStation. Master Chief to PlayStation. Say it loud, let the kids all scream. Console war in a silver dream. Halo on PS5. That's wild. Halo on PS5. That's wild. Pick your side, don't blink too slow. Everybody in the lobby know. One thumb on blue, one thumb on green. Same old feud in a brand new scene. Screenshots flying, the group chat shakes. Hot takes pine like birthday cakes. You want that bass, you want that glow. Want your favorite word on every show. If the logo lands and the crowd goes mad. If it don't, somebody's feeling bad. It disagrees. If who gets the name, who gets the win, who gets the friend. Master Chief to PlayStation. Master Chief to PlayStation. Say it loud, let the kids all scream. Console war in a silver dream. Halo on PS5. That's wild. Halo on PS5. That's wild. Pick your side, don't blink too slow. Everybody in the lobby know. Kick that door in, turn the time out. Chair lock back, screen on flame. Chat go crazy when they see my name. Eyes red, ready, stack that queue. Patch notes open, got receipts on you. Sweatband on cold, get open. One more run, yeah, the vow's still spoken. If the boss got buzz, we expose that truth. Say it straight like a cracked front tooth. Hey, hey, hey. Who gon' enter the gaming grindhouse? Fires burn hot while the gears all grind. Now talk that talk, let the rage unwind. Now we, the glaze, the news, pull the flavor out. Who gon' enter the gaming grindhouse? Spam that hype, let the voice get loud. From the frame drops down to the cash trap clowns. We the glaze, the news, pull the flavor out. Let's go. Let's
deglaze the news. Hit that like button, grinder. We deglaze the news. Let's go. Hit that like. Share it out. Hit me up. Oh, yeah.
Bad takes speed, one from leaks in the cold to the boards up tight. We stir that pot till it tastes just right. Yeah, who gonna enter the gaming grindhouse? Fires burn hot while the gears
Let's do it, grinders. The show is on. What's up, grinders? How you doing out there? My goodness, dude. It was like the storm of the century came crashing down right when I'm about to start the show, and it finally has passed. And my goodness, it was like lights are flickering. I didn't even know the show was gonna go on, man. But the skies have opened and said no, the news needs to be deglazed. So that's why we're here right now. We're live. Thank you again for your patience. Sorry for the late start, but yes, Mother Nature was knocking at my grindhouse door. So there it is. Free Hugs is here. Yo, Free Hugs been dropping some awesome comments in the chat. Free Hugs, I read your comment last week. Awesome. Thank you so much. Keep the comments coming. I read all the comments. So definitely, if you missed the show live, hit me up in the comments section, and hopefully I could even comment on it, or I will share it on the next show. So thank you again for coming through. We got Glasso the Aim is starting us off with the 2 for our goal this evening. Yeah, you see, I'm going to make a new song called Matt Ball Drop. We'll make that song if we hit that super chat goal. Also, too, we have our community game night. You guys are loving it. You're loving the community game nights. We did a special one over the weekend because I was going to do a DJ mix. Instead, I did a special community game night. Our next one is at 400. So let's go. We're cooking here with the VIPs, and you're going to get a balcony show. So we're going to do a to the balcony show maybe this week. So if you don't have a VIP yet, go get one. Cheaper than Game Pass. More value, more music. You like this music? That's where you get it as well. I released a whole bunch of songs for all the VIPs. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's shout out Glasto Gaming, kicking us off at the 2. He goes, PS5 digital with controller. Best deal in gaming. Oh, man. I just heard Gabe Newell bought a brand new house and a boat. Man, oh, man. Yo. PC Master checkbook. My goodness gracious. Yes, it's topic. We're going to get right to it. Don't worry. I'm going to run down these things. We're going to be cooking today. So there's a lot of topics, but we're going to run down them. And I told you what I do. We're going to get right to the nitty gritty real quick, real fast. Pause. And we're not going to have to wait until the 3-hour mark to get to the good stuff. Even though there will be good stuff at that time as well. Because I got a whole Gears rant and a half to talk about. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss it, and timestamps will be coming for those listening on the replay. But let's shout out everybody coming on in here. They were knocking on the doors as the rain was knocking on my walls. Hey, we got Silver Wolf in the house. We got D Almighty Spot and God. We got Neil Big Dig Rig Lucci in the house. Valve has good coke. I see. Yo. Springfield Chaser with the New Year's Eve bowl drop. He goes, Liquid Data in the house. It's raining there as well. Yes, I know, man. It was crazy. Lord Hog, Free Hugs. A shout out to Free Hugs there. Hero Down Under. Wild Wolf in the house. Space Money. We had Chad Stud. We got Pedro Martinez here. We had Neil Scott Free saying buying 2 Steam machines and a Helix. You can't stop me. Oh, damn. He says, yeah, I'm buying neither one of them until there's a discount bin. Yeah, exactly. Albert Gouchard, let's cook. Silver Wolf in the house. Taran here. We got in here. He says, Springfield says PS6 will dominate. Cheaper than Helix Steam Machine. Yo, we'll talk about this console stuff, man. Because that Steam Machine, that is insane. That is absolutely insane. It actually goes exactly to what I was saying, why they increased the price of the Steam Decks. That was exactly what they were doing, man. They were raising the bar. They raised it too far. And price bar, not quality bar. Seth Ross in the house. How about those Steam prices? That's right. Goku, he says, laugh my ass off. Valve in the house. And we got Taran in the house. Hit that like button, grind his edge coming on in here. Yeah, they're getting ready. But, before, there's just a quick topic here to wet our noodles, pause, is to, the GTA 6 pre-orders are coming up on the 25th. price leaks have been saying what's been going on, but the pre-orders finally are announced. Still, they have not shown gameplay of the game. They've still just done trailers, so I'm assuming on the 25th we'll probably get our next GTA 6 trailer. But yeah, that happened over last week that they announced. Very just like they just showed like the screen, the city, a pullback of the city, things like that for GTA 6, and then they just said basically pre-orders open up on the 25th. So I know everybody's probably pre-ordering it, getting ready to go. But yeah, we finally have the date for that. It's real. It's happening. GTA 6 hopefully don't get delayed anymore. And we are ready now with pre-orders in just a few days to start up. So I'm sure that's going to take over. And I'm sure that trailer will take over the internet that they're going to release probably the day those pre-orders start. So I know everybody hyped for that. But I definitely wanted to see that. But yeah, those prices are up there. July 14th is the last online update before GTA 6. Yeah. So we'll see. GTA 6 Trailer 3 will be on the same day. I agree, Taran. I agree. I think GTA 6 pre-orders will be up. That trailer will rule the internet for that day on the 25th. That's in 3 days. So we'll be seeing that there. But, yeah. As for me, in the Gaming Grindhouse, guess what? I don't pre-order anything. The only time I pre-order is their perks, and I'll pre-order the night before that I can play the game. I don't pre-order the games. I don't pre-order them this early. I'll pre-order GTA. Yeah, I'll get that pre-order on November 14th, November 13th, whatever the hell it is. I'll pre-order it digitally. Now, unless there's some special editions and stuff like that where they come with statues, maybe I'm interested. But even those things are so astronomically priced. I got a couple. I got the Spider-Man one. I got the God of War one. But that's about it. But I really, only if there's like a special edition and some statue or something that looks really cool and it's not $500, maybe I'll pre-order something. But I really don't pre-order games like that. No way. Especially when they delay them or they push them out. And then I got to worry about my money was not charged. I'm like, yeah, no what? No. GTA pre-orders go live. Great. I don't pre-order. I will not be pre-ordering it, but I will be getting the game, and I'll probably pre-order it the night before and download it and play it at midnight. That's how I roll. But yeah, I don't pre-order anything. My money is not, I don't have to put I'm not giving my money months in advance to somebody and I don't get a product. That's all I'm saying. That's my logic. I'm not going to giving you I'm going to give you $60, $70, $80 today so I can play your game 5 months from now. Well, what do I get? Oh, you get a receipt. A receipt. So I'm just giving money to wait. No thanks. I'll give you money at the 11th hour so I can play your game. You don't need my money for it. That's the thing, I'd rather take my money and put it in the bank. Or you get some interest. And then I'll use the same. I'll put $70 in the bank. Unless it's a special edition and limited edition. But that's how I roll. But pre-orders are opening finally for GTA 6. And we're ready to go. Glassdoor Gamer with the 2. He goes, Shuhei doesn't think a PS6 will be $1,000. He gets it. Yeah. So speaking of, the PlayStation and I know the internet is blowing up with Steam. We're going to get right to Steam right away here with and as compared to the consoles right now. But, one of the things that, there was an interview late last week. I didn't cover it because I didn't have a show there. Oh, what was that? That's Lucy. What was that? I don't know. Where's my alert boxes? Oh, that's why. Sorry, my alert boxes were hired. I don't know if that was a subscription or that was, I think it was Glassdoor Gaming Super Chat. So, one of the things that came out. Oh man, see, Neil says he can't order in a store. My GameStop is gone. Oh man, you know what? Speaking of GameStop pre-orders, I used to go to GameStop and pre-order the night before midnight launch just to attend the midnight launches. That's what I would do. I would go, you doing a midnight launch? They'd be like, yeah, okay, good, I'll pre-order the game. If they weren't doing one, I wouldn't pre-order it. But you get a keychain. That's right, King Gut. Yeah, get a keychain. Yeah, you keep the keychain. I'll go print one. I'll print one there. But one of the things that came up, on June 18th, that's a few days ago. That's when you pre-order when there's collected edition, special editions. Exactly. Hero Down Under. That's exactly what I do. Hit that like button, grind this, share it out. Let the Grindhouse know we're here. We're 125 people already. We're gonna blow the doors off of this show because we've been doing it in the last few weeks, man. It's been crazy. So keep it coming. You know, this is not an emergency, but we're almost at an emergency compared to what the Halo stuff was and the Steam stuff. I was going to call it emergency, but yeah. Oh, I'm sure GameStop and Best Buy do midnight launches. So, yeah, you'll definitely need to do that for a physical copy, obviously. So, let's go to here. So, this happened. So, PlayStation speaks, you know? So, PlayStation employee pulled out of the PC ports due to inconsistent releases and lack of revenue. Return to exclusivity. So, PlayStation reported to drop its future plans in PC games due to the inconsistency of previous games. Bloomberg reported Jason Schreier ever posted, on Reset Era that PlayStation told staff they were abandoning the PC as a platform for single-player games. This is going to roll right into the Steam Deck stuff. Herman Hulst, yes, that's right, my Aloy, reportedly stated that PC ports were inconsistent, didn't make enough money, and they wanted to align their biggest franchises with their hardware. Makes sense. There's also no plans for titles to jump on there's also no plans for titles to make the jump on a case-by-case basis. Currently, PlayStation plans to support live service games on PC, but single-player narrative-driven games will be exclusive to the console. They had a town hall. Herman Hulst told the staff about single-player games will only be on PlayStation 5. He explained that they were inconsistent with their PC releases. They didn't make enough money, and they want to keep their IP aligned with their platform, confirmed with two people that heard him say it. No case-by-case here. A lot of reasons PlayStation games have not succeeded on PC. For starters, many of them came out months to years after their initial release. Very little marketing or fanfare. Hype has died down, therefore the games are less appealing on PC. Also, too, the audiences on PC are different audiences. Like, they like different types of games. That's another reason why. Like, these games are built for console, and, sometimes they don't, just like the games like Counter-Strike, League of Legends, those games are PC-centric games. I doubt if they made a League of Legends and put it on a PlayStation or Xbox, they would do as well as they're doing on PC. They're not. They're different audiences. Mobile has their, look at the top played games. Mobile has theirs, PC has theirs, console has theirs. That's why I never was of the fan, the Phil Ness, that the same gamers across all devices. It might be the same person, but they're going to be playing different games on different devices. They're going to play to the strengths of those devices. Like a mobile game, you're not going to want to play your console game that's on a 70-inch screen with surround sound on a cell phone, unless you're strapped. That's it. You got it. You're desperate and just want to try to do something on it. You're not going to play your game that uses precision with mouse control and want to try to use thumbsticks on it from a PC game. You're going to do or you're going to play those games on higher refresh rates at these kind of games with mouse and control, or you're going to use a higher refresh rates, widescreen support, all these things. Ultra widescreen. Playing on a 32-inch screen, it's different than playing on a wall or a 70-inch screen. They're different audiences. So I never believed that one game fits all. There's very few games that do that. But Phil Spencer wanted every game to be like that. And Microsoft wants every game to be like that. But they're silly because they realize, not every game is going to be that. Gears E-Day is not going to be that game. Then those games they're not real cross-platform type things. They can make cross-platform, and maybe you get some spillover, but they're not going to be huge successes on either platform. Minecrafts, your Fortnites, Rocket Leagues, maybe, but things like that. And Last of Us Part 1 was pretty busted when it launched on PC, which was unfortunate given that those PlayStation's most beloved. And like I said, for Sony, this was stupid. They were dumb. I never liked this whole PC port shit anyway. I thought it was so dumb. Exactly. This is reporting right now. This is nowadays. This is how they report the news. But yeah, so PlayStation went on. They had, they did do, Nishino had some stuff, and I had to see where that Nishino post was. Where is that Nishino one? Because I just wanted to, just say that, they are definitely, I think that whole PlayStation, also too, they're not going to say it. I think this whole consolification of the Steam machine and Steam really becoming some sort of platform they're basically feeding them those games. The PlayStation's giving their games to them. So I think that's definitely another reason why this PC audience, where remember, they said back in the day that they were going to put these PlayStation games on PC, but they were going to do it in a way where those games, it's adding to them, not taking away potential PlayStation sales. I think that they realized that the juice weren't not worth the squeeze and waste time doing that stuff, and those games were not worth the effort there. Now, what happens to Nixus? I don't know. They support studio, help out with other things, maybe. But PlayStation first-party games are, the single player are not going there. Now, maybe they will. Maybe Sony changes its mind. But I can't see with Microsoft focusing on Windows as the biggest platform for gaming and Steam trying to make some console version of their system. Why would you give them the only thing that makes you different? Now, the price of the Steam machine is astronomical. I don't think it's any comparison right there. But they have changed their tone. And that's kind of the policy moving forward. So if they change their tone, maybe they will. Never say never, especially in this whole world of stuff. But I thought that whole PlayStation putting games on PC was a silly thing. This whole more games everybody plays, or you know what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And nobody, maybe you got your Spider-Mans. That's the big thing that people want. But otherwise, no thanks. No thanks. It's the same thing with mobile. They see these huge audiences of people, and they think like it's like this golden goose, and it's not, because there's a big audience, just like there's tons of mobile people, tons of mobile phones, and they go, wow, if we put a game on billions of phones, man, we could get a little bit of that, and then they realize like those billions of people don't care, because if they did care, they would have been playing your games on the devices that you make. Same thing with PC players. They don't care.
You're my number one customer.
They don't care. They just like, oh, wow, that's nice. We're getting their games. I never have to get one. They don't care. Oh, but there's billions of users on Steam. Yeah. And they're playing other games. They're not playing yours. So, yeah, I have to say, like, Steam is going right back to being what Steam is. And they're on their own right now, except for Xbox keeps feeding them their games because Microsoft wants some version of Windows to succeed. But Sony's learning. Yeah, I told you. What did Herman say? We learned we were making money. It was not timed. It was not consistent. What did I tell you? What did I tell? Man, we called it. Grinders week. I got to give you flowers again. We called it. Right? What did we tell Sony? Where did we tell them? Where the hell is my shit? Where's my stuff? There it is. What did we tell them? What did we tell Sony? What did we tell them? PlayStation F8. That's right, Herman.
You gon' learn the hard way. Hit greenness, better watch out when you fly too close to the sun. Just ask Phil, he got permanent tan lines on his ass.
That's right, FAFO Sony. You learned. We could have saved it the time, but you wanted to go ahead anyway. I told you.
You're my number one customer.
You're gonna learn
the hard way, Herman.
Permanent tan lines on his ass.
Told you. They learned the hard way. Nobody buying our games. You were dope. I said PlayStation was stupid, but everybody was grabbing hands, singing "We Are the World." Oh, everybody should play everything, gatekeeping, and all this other shit. And what happened? Last of Us, your premier game, gets a bad PC port. Everybody trashing it on PC. Your premier games that were the identity of your platform getting talked about, that it's garbage because there's a bad PC port. That's the kind of reputation you want to bring to your IP. That's the kind of that's because you're trying to appease to all these different PC configurations and getting Steam bombed on there because you just made a bad PC port or you partnered with somebody. Yeah, what happened? Your premier games, the franchises that people hold up to go, and that's a reason to own the console, are now getting trashed in the news because of your PC port. FAFO, Sony. FAFO. But you wanted a couple of dollars. Hitokiness came in there and goes, no, we got to make money. We got to make some money. Things that cost too much. So he tried to make a bunch of cash grabs and took all the IPs and say, put them on PC. Well, now look what happens. And you're feeding the thing that's going to try to compete with you. Yes, Sony. You're lucky. They lucky they wised up. I still think they should pull the multiplayer games. That's the other one. I think they got to pull them all. I think that whole day one service game horse shit, I think that don't save you either. Look at what is it? Marathon. Does it matter that it's everywhere? Did it matter? No. Do you think it matters that the Marvel token is everywhere? Like, does it matter? It doesn't matter where the games are. It matters if they're good games. That's it. But it doesn't matter. Like, stop with the whole, like, we need an audience. Like, look, Concord, that was everywhere. That died. So it doesn't matter that it's on PC and PlayStation day one for the biggest audience. And again, does anybody care? That was the conversation 2 years ago when we were roasting marshmallows, singing Phil Spencer Kumbaya, and Sony was gatekeeping. Now, nope, I didn't see one person say, oh, but they're pulling Gears off 100 million consoles. But they have multiplayer and co-op. That's gatekeeping. How is it taking games away from 100 million platforms? I hear crickets. Nobody talking about that anymore. Now it's about what?
How about those exclusives?
Oh! Now it's about how those exclusives are. Really? That's why I say Sony pulled everything. I would pull it all for PC. Let Gabe Newell make a fucking game. That's what I would say. Gabe Newell, get off your yacht, get your fat ass out there, and go make Half-Life 3. Force Steam's hand. Stop making them. They absorb everybody else's revenue. They don't make any games. Where's their game that's supposed to come out? Gabe Newell gonna launch a Steam machine with it at $1,000 exclusive? Hell out of here. Let Gabe Newell work his money. Don't feed that bitch. I'll pull all my shit off of PC. Marvel token, get the hell. Know what? I'll give them something. Give them Jade Raymond's game. That's what I'll say. PC, I'll give you that. I'll give you that stuff. There you go. I'll give you Fair Games or Escape from Guantanamo Bay, whatever the fuck that game is. I'll give you that one. Fair Games. There you go. That's a PC exclusive from PlayStation. That's the one I'll give you. That's the one I'll give you. I'll take all that shit away. Marvel token, y'all. That should come right to PlayStation with the fight stick. That PC shit could wind up over here. That's what I would do. But Sony will learn their lesson. They'll put some multiplayer games out there. They'll see they don't do anything on PC and realize that, dude, we should just get these exclusive to our platform. See? High on Life says, Nishino will see the last few live service game launches through Horizon Gummy Bear. Yo, there you go. There's another PC exclusive right there. High on Life, Gummy Bears. That goes to PC too. And then revise their strategy. Dude, they need to. They need to pull it all off. Enough of this horse shit. We play, the gamers on PlayStation pay for PSN, then make games for PSN players. So bullshit, put that game on PC where people play. Well, like, if you're going to charge for PSN and pay to play online, some horse shit that we got to deal with, then you better make games just for us. You should get paid just for your PSN. Just like Xbox used to do Xbox Live games, you make PSN games and call it a day. Doesn't matter where you are. Stop with this horse shit. Everybody going back to exclusives. We need to go back. Back to the island, like Lost. But Sony learned their lesson. They're halfway to FAFO. Herman learned the other hand's going to drop for him. Liquid Data with the 5. He goes, guess what PlayStation games ran good on PlayStation? F them PC ports. Exactly, Liquid Data. Exactly. Gordo with the 5. He goes, there were all these PS5 Pros a scam folks. $1,050 with no stand, no disc, no controller. Those nerds better keep that same energy, dude. They're not. Listen, they're gonna be quiet, Gordo. We'll talk about that Steam machine. They're gonna be quiet, and that shit's gonna be sold out because everybody gonna go quiet. You're not gonna see. I didn't see one tweet already today of, here we go, grinders. Who's this for? I didn't see Dusty Bin stop turning off the oven. Don't wait, my cookies. Dusty Bin said, stop with the cookies. I got to make a video. Steam machine. Who's this for? Dude, there were videos coming out every friggin' minute when that PS5 Pro was announced and the price. There was just go buy a PC. Who's this for? Greedy Sony. I haven't seen it since. I've seen the same thing with the PlayStation VR 2. What? Reverb. Who's this for? PSVR 2 at $500. Oh, who's this for? Greedy Sony. Dude, we have $800 stripper glitter Xbox out there. We have $1,000 Steam machines that got the processor of a friggin' a rock. It's it's overpriced shit. It's ridiculous I'm gonna rant about that Steam machine thing. They kiss my ass. RAM inflation my ass. Inflation my ass. That's robbery. Highway robbery for the specs of that thing. For that to cost that much money. The hell out of here. Gabe Newell's new house. But I didn't see the who's this for's. Oh my God, go get a PC. Yeah, all those whining bitches didn't say shit. Nobody said anything. They're like, oh. And they're not going to say anything. But I bet your ass they're going to hit that little pre-order button. They're going to order they're going to order their to-go food, come showing up at their house, their pizza with pepperoni, extra meat. And then they're going to say, oh, and let me pre-order one of those. Just like they went after that controller, like it was God's gift to gaming, that Steam controller with the nipples on them.
You're my number one
nipples.
customer.
The tactile nipple pads. They pre-ordered that Steam controller, nipple pads and all. Like it was God's gift to gaming. Like they've never seen a controller before in their life. I thought they play on keyboard and mouse with all the RGBs. I didn't know everybody was excited about a controller that plays on Steam. But they love those nipple pads. And they probably knew that they're going to sell them a console. They sell them a box and say, plug it into the wall. Well, how do I play it? I don't know. Stick something in it. Maybe it'll work. I never knew a controller. I never knew controller would be an accessory. We'll just say the box, but if you want the control, oh man, we'll get into it. It's ludicrous. Ludicrous. Glasgow Game with the 5, he goes, PC gaming is dying in real time. Seen this song and dance in the 90s, 2000s, and it's happening again. By 2030, people won't be talking about PC gaming. And you know what? The thing about PC gaming, it's hit a cap. It's hit a cap. There's nothing really to get excited about with the graphics cards. You know, that whole like AI shit, I think that rubbed a lot of devs and stuff the wrong way. That AI DLSS 5.0, where, you know, it just kind of changed the look of the game and kind of added this whole AI glaze over it. Like I think Nvidia is focused more on AI stuff. Like I think even the graphics cards are hurting. They're going to be more focused on processing AI stuff. And honestly, I don't think the games are out there that are taking advantage of these faster machines. And I honestly think all this upscaling and frame gen shit don't make developers push the graphics. Because they could just do whatever they want, and they just say, hey, you could turn on the AI to make it whatever you want. We're just going to make this kind of regular game, and if you want more performance, you just use our AI tools to make the game run to your level. And I really think that all this upscaling, all this frame gen shit, I feel like, you know, in specifically with PC graphics cards, you're not seeing the raw power or the use of the graphics cards that you're investing in and paying top dollar for. Instead, it's coming with a bunch of hoax and fixes, like an AI shit. And I feel like PC development, it's not there. Like and they've said this before, like all the innovation and development come from the development on the consoles. That kind of, especially the next gen consoles that take advantage of some of the features of the graphics cards that they want to explore and test on the console to then eventually launch it on PC. That's what they're doing with the AMD 4.0, right? That's what they're doing with the AMD. They're trying to explore it. PSSR and AMD are doing that stuff. But I don't know what's going on. I think the PC stuff is super overpriced. It's out of control. I'm glad I got my PC stuff when I got it, my laptops and my desktop. I got a 4070 Super. I got a 4070, I got a 5080. So, like, I'm happy with what I got before all this shit went crazy, because I was buying and returning so much to try to find the best, most ideal PCs to kind of carry me for the next 5-6 years, because I knew that this stuff, like, I kept hearing about this inflation shit and all this craziness. I got to get locked in. So I got a 5080 gaming laptop. It's a beast. The Scar 18 with the LED lights on the back, like with the hologram stuff on the back. And then I got like my workhorse one. That's my gaming one. And then I got my workhorse one, the OLED Zephyrus with the 5070 Ti in it. And
You're
then
my number one customer.
And then I got just a 4070. I just bought a 4070 Super that I put in, and I took my 4070 out and I put that in my Razer Core. So I have an external GPU. So I'm locked in, but I've been doing that over the last 3 years. I've been investing and checking this out because this is crazy time now. And I know the Steam Deck was even delayed, too, everybody. Like, it got delayed, like, and this is where we'll talk about the PlayStation and with the Xbox, like this is just not the environment to be releasing this shit. This is not the time. Like, I don't know what, unless they're trying to just maximize everything now so then they could sell it later. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. But it just seems like the most difficult time to launch hardware in this environment. The Almighty with the 5, he goes, none of these shortcuts for more performance would have happened without the PS4 Pro. So PC gamers, thanks Sony for checkerboard rendering. Yeah, I know, all this rendering and stuff. But what's crazy is that the raw power is in these GPUs that you're paying tons of money for. And you would like to have some games take advantage of those things, but it's just like you could turn on more tricks. That's kind of what the NVIDIA highlights. Oh, well, you could put on more tricks. DLSS 5.0, Gen 4, what is it? Frame Gen 4.0 that adds so much latency, it's ridiculous. I put it on in Doom. It was ridiculous. I'm like, who's playing like this? Just so my frame, like, am I doing it for a screenshot for Twitter or something like that? Because, yeah, the game says 270 frames, but I feel like it is, like, lagging so bad because I'm using Frame Gen 4.0. Like, I don't even use it 4 times. And that's one of the benefits of the 50 cards was that you could use Frame Gen 3 and 4 times. And, man, you turn that on, and it is latency city. It is ridiculous. Yeah, you could jack everything up and then put on that Frame Gen and be running at 4K with 270 frames. And it's like, whoa, yeah, take a screenshot because that's all it's good for. Once you start moving around, there's so much input delay, it is unusable. I turn that shit off with the fake frames. I'm like, you only could get up to like 2 gen. Same thing with Silent Hill. The Silent Hill game. You're playing around with the frame gen and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it looks good on the counter, but like the latency, the gameplay sucks because you're adding so much delay. And that's why people don't use frame gen. But what's crazy, Davis, is that the frame gen is sort of like the feature of the 50 series. Like when you got the 50 series cards, it's like supports frame gen 3X and 4X. And they give you Doom with the card so you could use it. And it's like, if this is the feature that you're pushing with your new graphics card's capabilities, it is useless because I would not use it. And a lot of people won't. So it's like, but you look every time it's more frame gen, more all the stuff. And I just think that it's out there, man. But the PC stuff is there's going to be a crash. Either we're going to have an AI crash, we're going to have a hardware crash out. Oh, you're great with a 4090, man. And even the 40 series. 4080s, 4070s. I got a 5080, and I'm sitting on that one on a laptop. I know it's on a full-blown 5080. But I like gaming laptop stuff. I like taking it with me and hooking up to the TV. But I have my desktop here to do this stuff. Like, whatever. Teach his own. And I got my handheld, whatever the whole shit is. But it is crazy, dude. It is insane what's going on out there and what the price is. That is just not a good environment to be doing this stuff. I just don't get it. Like, it's just, and yeah, we'll get into it. Actually, since we're talking about the Steam Machine, we'll just, let me just change this then. We'll get right into the Steam Machine because everybody wants to talk about it. So we're going to get right, since we talked more about it. Let me just move my title around here. So we'll do the Halo 5 messaging, which really is a nothing burger, but it is fun to look at some of the receipts that happened over the weekend with this Halo stepping on a rake thing. But we'll jump to the we'll come back to that, and we will go right into the Steam Machine because that's what everybody wants to talk about right now, since we're in that PC talk right now. There, so I don't know why this is not cooperating with me. And I'll just highlight this very carefully. Oh. See? Oh no. Copy. Now let's do this here. And do paste. Copy paste stuff. Yeah, just move this around. So we'll get right into that Steam Machine price. So while the Steam Machine was delayed, since we're doing the PC messaging and stuff like that. Oh, definitely, Ron. Windows causes undue stress. I hate Windows. But it's compatibility, right? Yeah, so we'll switch it around. We'll go right to that Steam Machine price. So what everybody's talking about today, the biggest news that dropped, was that the Steam Machine, I told you don't have to wait long for your Grindhouse entertainment here. Hit that like button, grinders. We're adjusting those topics a little bit here. This machine, the Steam Machine, launched pre-order pricing today, and it is sitting here. I can't believe this is real. $1,049, and look, out of stock, for the Steam Machine, for the 512 gigabytes. 512 gigabytes. Grinders. What is that, 5 games? 5 games, maybe? That is crazy. 512. A PC. Listen. They were telling people to put 2 terabytes in SSDs and external SSDs and all these all load up your games for your Steam library. 512 in a console machine. Yes, you could upgrade. You'll be paying your out. 512. But here we go. Ready? An AMD Zen 4 processor. AMD RDNA 3. 28 CUs. A 3. 16 gigabytes of DDR RAM. 16 gigs of RAM. And here's the worst. 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Yo. That was the thing that got people, was those 16 gigs. Like, at least you should have 32. You're talking about a machine that you got to last a few years. 16 gigs. We're approaching games now. You need at least 32. 16, I would not buy, and this I'll tell you, because I would not buy a laptop with 16 gigs of DDR RAM, man. You need at least 32. You're running games and stuff, man, I would use that. And 8 gigs of video RAM. 8. Wi-Fi 6. It just seems that this thing was, it's like It's like a year or so old. Like it seems like it's running like it was ready for last year, a year or two. It doesn't seem like a new device coming out in 2026. Wi-Fi 6, 8 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs, 8 gigs of video RAM, 16 gigs, like RDNA 3. Like, it just seems wild. And then for $1,049, not only does it come with like older stuff, 16 gigs is all right. I guess for games, Chad, I guess for multitasking, but I wouldn't buy it. I know when I was shopping for computers and stuff, I would just go with 32. 16 will get you by. But 4 years, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, Chad, I don't know. But 8 gigs of RAM 4 or 5 years from now, I don't know what you're doing 8 gigs of RAM. Now, think about it. The problem that is with this is that, that will be nice for a handheld on a small screen. Oh, wow, yeah, a handheld on a 7-inch screen, that's nice. But if this is a machine that's meant to plug into a 4K TV. This is a console. This is meant for high frame rate monitors, but more so, it's meant for TVs because it's a console. Because you would typically have a PC hooked up to your monitor. You can hook this up to your monitor, but it's going to be more for TVs. You're talking about 4K, 1440. You're talking about 4K TVs, 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm telling you, you could go, well, you could play it in lower resolutions at 1080p and get there. Yeah, that might work on a 27-inch monitor. But when you put that on a 70-inch screen and you say, let's run it at 1080p, oh, you're going to see it. That's been the problem. Trust me, I've done this before with my Steam Deck, with my handhelds, with my laptops. I've hooked them up to what you will want to see as a console. And when you're plugging that into a TV, when you say, let's drop that resolution and get those frames up, you're going to see it because you're not playing on a 27-inch monitor, 1 inch, 3 feet from your face. You're playing on a couch, sit back with a 70-inch TV, a wall projector, and you're going to see that resolution drop. When you go, oh, just drop the resolution, get those frames, you're going to see it. That's why, as a console, it's not going to be as easy as just drop the frame rate. Just drop the resolution. Because if you're plugging this into a 70-inch TV, a 65-inch TV, and that's right. There are mini PCs out there. Well, maybe not today. See, this is the problem. Maybe not today, but I could tell you right now, like, there are mini PCs that you could plug in, the little hockey puck ones that come with like 32 gigs of RAM and have like an onboard integrated chip and, can run games. I got one of those. I got what is it? I forgot what the hell it's called. It's a Minis Forum 77. It has like a 6600 laptop GPU in it, dedicated GPU, and it's a little older, and it's running like I don't know what AMD it's running, but it has like a 6600 or 6700 dedicated laptop GPU in it, and it's the size of it's a little stand. It's probably like maybe not even a foot tall, like 7-inch too. Like, I'll show it's a Minis Forum PC, but I bought it for like, what is it, $700, but I bought it 2 years ago. And I know the thing is that this inflation's insane, but what you're getting and for what it is. And on top of that, it doesn't even come with a controller. It has integrated Steam wireless adapter built into it, but doesn't come with the controller for $1,049. They were bitching about PlayStation not coming with a stand. They were bitching about PlayStation for $700 not coming with a stand. Meanwhile, the thing stands fine. They were bitching about that it didn't come with a disk drive. $700. Who's this for? Let me get to YouTube. This don't come with a controller. What are we doing here? Listen, grinders. We got $1,000 plus console $1,000 plus console that does not come with a controller before GTA 6. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? We would see a console come out that is over $1,000, a gaming console without a controller before GTA 6. That's what it is. But they bitched for months about the stand. Well, the PlayStation 5 Pro, I got the stand is $29.99. I got to buy a stand for the PS5 Pro. They don't include the stand in the box. The stand, it doesn't come with a stand. It doesn't come with a stand. What am I going to do? Bitch, just don't come with a controller. What? What? Josh here said PlayStation or Xbox shipped without a control. People lose their minds. Josh, they'll be having videos for years. Not to mention, they just went through craziness selling the controller a few weeks ago with the nipples. But this is wild. And this is exactly what I was saying. When they increased the price of the Steam Deck to those astronomical prices, it was to soften the blow of the Steam machine. Because this is, I would have been interested in this thing for like $500, $600 to play some Steam. And it's Linux. Like, you know, I think so. Like, it would be nice. But would double that price? Like $500, $600? Double that? For $512? Dude, it gets worse. Look at this. This is their premier package. A 2 terabyte with a controller comes in at a whopping, it's the price of another console, $1,428. If you want a controller and 2 terabytes. Listen. To each his own of how people spend money, but I can't legit look at these specs with 8 gigabytes of VRAM and go like, oh yeah, like, and think about plugging this into my TV. That's the problem with this. Like, as a handheld, you're good because that's the screen. But I cannot see sitting back on a couch and plugging this in and saying, yeah, this is my gaming PC on my TV. Because this has a different purpose than a handheld. And I just don't see with these specs in 2026 paying that price now. And, you know, I don't know if it's 16 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of VRAM, a 2 terabyte for $1,500. But you want to know what, man? It is. And you could say inflation. You could say what it is. These prices need to be down $600 for this thing to be in any kind of realm, I think, for people to buy. But I'm telling you, this is the thing. There's going to be no boycotting. There's not going to be who's this for, not from this channel. The thing is, people are going to buy it, and it's going to be sold out. So just be prepared. But the hypocrisy of when Gabe Newell's baby launches compared to the hate that the PlayStation 5 Pro received will be studied on the Gaming Grindhouse. That hypocrisy, because that was just some Xbox refugee PC bullshit. When PlayStation was cooking with something new and something fresh at $700 that will make your games play better, everybody hated on it. But now, when they release hardware that is weaker and it's more expensive, it's hush-hush. Yeah, that will be studied. But listen, people are going to buy it. It's going to sell out. And Steam and Valve have said already that they are not subsidizing this thing. And the problem what I have when with this whole flip-de-oop-de-dopey Valve is your friend, is that they wined and dined people with the subsidized cost of the Steam Deck. That was the lure of the Steam Deck, was that, wow, it's $475. It's $600. Yes, it is a weaker machine. Yes, it doesn't have the high resolution frame rate. the high resolution screen. It's a 580 screen. It's not a 720 or 1080p or 1440p screen. It's a smaller screen. But the Steam Deck was made as a gateway to take your games on the go. And it was at a good price where it was like, whoa, just get a Steam Deck. That was the bait for everybody to kind of jump on there. But now, I don't know how this sitting here at this price with those specs is anything. Like, I really think that, you know, I would be looking, if you're going to be paying that amount of money, honestly, if you want some advice, is really just invest in a real PC. You know, invest in one that's not locked in to any kind of customizing or limited stuff. And unfortunately, you might as well buy a Windows PC because it gives you more flexibility for upgrading if prices do change. This thing being Linux, you know, there's definitely drive compatibility with certain things and upgrading paths and things like that. You know, you are limited with that as well. While it's a wonderful system, I love SteamOS. I think it's incredible. For gaming wise, I was so excited for this thing, thinking like, yo, this will be really cool to put right next to my consoles, sitting there, boom, so I don't have to kind of go through my laptop to the TV. But not with this, because I can't imagine playing games with that kind of specs on a TV. Because a TV is I have a 4K projector. I plug this in here. I'm not playing anything at 4K. No, not with this. Oh, you could up-res it. Yeah, and frame gen and all and you know, and all that other stuff. I don't know, man. But for $1,500, here the price breakdowns from Shinobi. So $512 without a controller is $1,049. That's the lowest the Steam machine is. I don't think the Steam machines, when they launched back the first time around, they were this expensive. I don't remember. Now remember, they had Alienware and other people making it. So now you got a 512 gigabyte with a controller is $1,128. That's the one with the controller. Not with more RAM or anything like that. No, the same box with a controller is $1,128. Then a 2 terabyte without a controller is $1,349. And then a 2 terabyte controller bundle is $1,428. Now, one other thing that people go, well, everybody probably has an Xbox controller to use it. Well, guess what? I got some bad news. Wait, reverb. I got some bad news. Yeah, here's the problem. Steam does not support X input, the Steam Deck. This Steam machine does not support X input, I believe. Let me know, Grind, if I'm wrong. So therefore, your Xbox controller, I don't think will function very well with this machine, and you probably should go get a Steam controller for this machine. It's probably the best experience because I don't think the Xbox controller on here will function that great. Because I believe, and let me double check on that. Let me see. I thought, because I saw people complaining about that. Steam machine does not support X input. I believe so. So those Xbox controllers. Yep. If you're having trouble with Steam machine, you're not utilizing X yet. So they don't use X input. So Steam has exclusive controllers. Yeah, exactly. You can mimic Steam to try to use the Xbox input, but it's not going to. It doesn't. Yeah, you got to use Steam to do it. So Valve relies on Steam input to translate your control actions to a virtual X input or keyboard mouse pad. So you're going to have to configure that on there. Actually, it says if the controller works. So, yeah. So here, this is the Steam machine support X input. Oh, it says, wait, the Steam machines and Steam fully support X input. Steam translates, yeah, it translates it through X input to standard controller. So games will recognize it as an Xbox controller. So they do. So it does support it, yeah. Oh, the Steam controller lacks X input. That's what it is. I knew one of them did. So yeah, the Steam controller doesn't do X input, but you can hook up an Xbox controller to this and function. So that does work. I just wanted to clarify that because I knew something didn't have X input. It was the Steam controller, not the Steam machine. The Steam controller does not have X input. So forgive me if I misspoke them there. I knew one of them does not have X input, and the Steam machine does work with it. It just simulates it there on it. But probably your best bet is using the Steam controller for the best compatibility. But I believe the Xbox controller will work on this through Bluetooth, though. Whereas that's one of the perks where you look at one of the things is that the wireless dongle is built into it for the Steam machine. Steam machine has the wireless input for it. So you may get, and let me actually look that up too, just so if people are interested in this, I don't want to share misinformation. Will you have better wireless low latency using a Steam controller rather than an Xbox controller? Because Xbox will have to hook up with Bluetooth, I believe, on the new Steam machine. Just for those that are interested, I want to look this up. Because I believe so. Yes. So the new Steam controller will deliver better low latency wireless performance on the Steam machine than a standard Xbox controller. So that's something to keep in mind. Because the Steam controller will function with a built-in 2.4 gigahertz wireless connection, where Xbox will have to use the Bluetooth on it. So there you go. So that's your consideration here. If you want to go without a controller, you could definitely go with an Xbox controller, but you'll go through Bluetooth. Now, there's a plenty of PC controllers that use the 2.4 gigahertz. You'll just have to buy another one. But if you want out of the box, you'll have to buy one with the Xbox with the Valve controller. Because that dongle is built directly into the box for their controller, which is crazy how they do not include the controller knowing that thing is there. That's wild. Wild. Yes. Now, once we got over the price, let's talk performance, because we were talking about that stuff. Let's see some performance. And here we go, grinders. Steam machine is showing disappointing performance in demanding games. Look at these. This is what I mean. When you look at 8 gigs of RAM, it's going to be a hard sell at that price. Cyberpunk is running 1440p medium. What was that? Somebody subscribe? Hit that subscribe button. Yo, Thrifty, a clapping seal for 250 joules. Thank you so much, Thrifty. Shout out to Thrifty. Catch him on Wednesday nights. A clapping seal. Nice. Yes, and hit that like button and subscribe, grinders, to the Gaming Grindhouse. We're going to talk about performance now of this Steam machine. And he sent another, what is that? A red card. Oh, violation. Oh, shit. He sent me a red card. Kicking people out. Thank you so much, Thrifty. Hit that like button, grinders. Share it out. We're on the way. And we're only 4 away from our goal to get a new Matt Ball song. But we're talking about the Steam machine right now. So Cyberpunk, 1440p medium settings. Ray tracing, 28 frames. Yo, PC Master Race. We're doing 28 frames. What? Excuse me. 28 frames. This is not a 1440p box. I don't know why they're running this. Black Myth Wukong, 1440p, very high, 20 frames. Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora on Ultra, 21 frames. Now, you're not going to be playing them at those settings, but what the thing is look at the settings. Very high at 1440p. You're probably playing, this Steam machine is probably more of a 1080p machine on medium settings, maybe even lower. Maybe add a little bit of DLSS, a little bit of AMD love in there, some things, and maybe you're around 40, 50 frames. But this is not a 1440 machine. So, like, you're sitting there with your 4K TV. You're sitting there you're going to be playing at lower resolutions. You're not playing this at 4K low settings. Maybe you get 30 frames. Like this, you're going to be, and that's the problem with this machine is that because of the low RAM, you're going to be playing the tweaking game. You're going to be having, and on like I said before, when this thing is meant to be hooked up to a TV because it's their console, and people are going to treat it like a console, a TV is a very less forgiving than a computer monitor or a handheld. That computer monitor, that's a 27-inch screen. You drop it down to 1080p from 1440p, might not be too bad because you're playing at a smaller screen. Same thing with a handheld. You putting this on a 70-inch TV, check out my PC gaming, you're going to be playing with settings a lot to get a game that's functional and looks well on that size screen. That's my biggest problem with this. If it's meant for a TV, these are not TV-friendly use cases. Silverwolf sent a jewel. Thank you so much, Silverwolf. A nice golden coin to chew on. 10 jewels from Silverwolf. Silverwolf is sending gold. He sent another 10 jewels. Thank you so much, Silverwolf. So, like, I don't know. Like, chat, what do you think? Obviously, you're not going to be playing at these things. Takeaway, the Steam Machine's performance does not match its price. A regular PC costs $1,049, would deliver more, significantly better results. Now, in today, this is inflated. All this shit's going on. It's wild. But I could tell you, man, those little handheld PCs, those little mini PCs, they were doing a lot better, running that stuff. And then here's the test here, a Steam Machine running, I don't know why they're throwing Alan Wake at this thing. But look at you're looking at here. You're looking at
desktop mode. Yeah, in performance mode, we're looking at a 9% lead for the PS5 version.
Their comparatives not to the Pro, to the PS5 performance mode versus the Steam Machine in match settings.
In performance mode, we're looking at a 9% lead for the PS5 version. 55.3 FPS plays 50.7 FPS. Not exactly a gaping chasm, right? Alan Wake 2 isn't available on Steam, of course. I got it running by using the Heroic Launcher installed in Steam Machine's desktop mode. Yes, it is a Steam Machine, but we've got to remember that it's not just a console-like experience.
Yeah, it doesn't have Epic Store on there, too. You got to do all the heroic launches and all that other stuff to get to read Epic games. Well, that's just Steam for you because Steam doesn't allow for Xbox Game Pass, doesn't allow for other storefronts, but you got to use heroic launcher to do that because Alan Wake is not available on Steam. But performance-wise, it doesn't really affect. It's not going through an emulator or anything like that. It's just basically a different launcher to kind of launch it as a non-game application. So I don't think, from my experience, it does not pull any performance away by using heroic launcher on a Steam machine. It runs fine. So this is just the capabilities of the machine. They're just trying to match these up. And yeah, this is a base PS5 that they're comparing it to. But it's weak. Listen, when this thing was launched, when this thing was announced, that's why I thought it was so funny because when this thing was announced, basically everybody was like, oh, those 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Everybody was low on that. Like, oh, this has got to be $500. This thing's got to be $600, maybe even less. Like, when this guy launched, the specs indicated this thing will sit around $600. Then as time got on, it's like, oh, this may be $700. Then when they increased the price of the Steam machines, everybody's like, of the Steam Deck, or a few months ago, everybody's like, oh, the Steam machine is going to be thousands of dollars. I was like, whoa, wait a second. When this thing was announced, people looked at the specs and going, yo, this thing can't be more than 600. Look at that 8 gigs of RAM. Like, that's low. And 16 gigs of video RAM and 8 gigs of video RAM and 16 gigs of regular RAM and an AMD 3 and, 6 Bluetooth and 5. That 512 has got to be coming around $500. Like, definitely. They're going to compete against the other consoles. Then as the inflation got up, now all of a sudden when the Steam machines went up to like $800, $900, $1,000 for a Steam machine or a Steam Deck, the Steam machines are over $1,000. Yeah, Springfield Chase said IGN said it was supposed to be $750. RDNA 2 was developed in 2018. PS5 is actually a 7.5-year-old hardware. That's what I said, Deal Mighty, was like this whole Steam machine spec. It's not a equivalent to a device that you would think be coming out 6 years after a PlayStation and running like that. So let's see if we could find some of that Digital Foundry, because I want to see a little bit more. Do you want to see more of that Digital Foundry video? Because this is a clip of it. Let's see if we can find some of that Digital Foundry, because I want to see some of these comparisons here. Because I want to see how it runs games, since we'll close the book on the Steam machine for now here. But I just want to see Digital Foundry Steam machine when they did some kind of comparison in their review. Let's look at some of their review here. Let's get some of the tapes grinded. Let's look at some of the receipts here.
There's the physical machine itself.
We already went through the prices. Thank you.
C games, right?
We're all guilty of the old one-trip wonder.
Very good. We got a commercial break. Hit that like button while we're doing a commercial break right here, grinders. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that subscription. I want to see those subscriptions. Let's go, grinders. Let's get those VIPs in there. We want to go to the balcony. Here's a commercial right here. Here's my commercial. Let's see what DF said.
We need to talk about how going for
We should call Digital Foundry DTF.
How about those exclusives?
small form factor box, drawing as much power as they need. Power draw measured from the wall varies between the 108
I'm not no goddamn electrician. I don't give a how much power it's pulling. What's this?
market. GPU then, in a desktop space there can only be one, the Radeon RX 7600. The exact same Navi 33 processor as the Steam machine. However, with the 7600, wattages are higher and all 32 compute units are active as opposed to Steam machine's 28. So
oh man, that is an old ass card.
are higher and all 32 compute units are active as opposed to Steam machine's 28.
So it's not
we
even a
should
full-blown graphic card.
expect
That's
more
exactly.
performance then. But of course, the RX 7600 is effectively old technology now.
Yeah, that shit's old, man. I got a 6600. 6700 I was old. They put some old-ass GPU, and it's not even a full GPU.
RDNA 3, and it's
And the other problem with the Steam machine is because it's Linux, it doesn't support eGPUs. So if I had when I'm sitting here with a 4070 Super in my NVIDIA Cortex, I could plug that into a Steam machine and boom, my Steam machine becomes like current gen. The Steam machine doesn't support eGPUs. You can't boost anything. So that's limited to what's in the box.
been replaced by the Radeon RX 9060 XT. Yeah, RDNA 4. Costs more, but you get a ton more performance. Rounding off the group test, I went for the Radeon RX 6600. For years, you could
Hey, that's the one I have.
buy this for under $200, and it also represents the GPU I'd recommend as the lowest spec for still getting a decent experience from AAA gaming. DirectX
Dude, this is what I have. This one right here. It runs decent. It's a lot, but he's talking about the desktop ones. I had the laptop one. Dude,
12 Ultimate feature set, and the value it offered
this is some old ass shit that's in something for 2026. That's what's crazy. It's not the capabilities of the machine, but the fact of like how old or something meant for your TV.
back in the day was just tremendous. It's an interesting comparison point for Steam Machine as it has similar GPU clock speeds, the same 28 compute units. Memory bandwidth is higher on Steam Machine, and obviously the 6600 is using the RDNA 2 architecture, whereas the machine's using RDNA 3.
Let's
It
see
is
the
about the
benchmark.
percentage differentials between the GPUs tested,
Ooh.
which all have the same issue. Oh, and one more thing to note before we crack on. Benchmarks are all tested with VSync disabled for full performance. However,
Well, see, that's a problem. VSync disabled. Well, if you're plugging this into a TV and you don't have VRR, you're going to hit the wall, dude. You're going to hit. So it is inflated, Silver Wolf. Those are old parts, cheaper back then. He said you can buy for $200, you can buy that GPU. So, again, it is just inflated. And is inflated because of the parts in it, or just inflated because they say whatever the fuck, let's just inflate it. But they have VRR, they have VSync off. Now, when you play on, if you put this thing on your TV, you got to put VSync on, which is going to drop performance because you're not going to want screen tearing if your TV does not support variable refresh rate.
SteamOS itself defaults to VSync on. The reference videos in the background
See, it defaults to VSync on because it's supposed to. Okay.
of the benchmarks here were captured from Steam Machine at the same settings with VSync active. So the benchmark numbers represent full performance. The video represents what you'd actually see out of the box with Steam Machine. So with all of that in mind, here the full-fat RX 7600 in Black Myth Wukong only manages to deliver an 11 percentage point uplift over the Steam Machine on match settings. I expected more, and you will see more elsewhere, but even so, the margin is thin on this specific test.
Why don't you show the frame rate? There you are.
PlayStation 5's performance
He's getting rid of the Cyberpunk 56. Yo.
mode settings here, and we're running at native 1440p. And as expected, the RX 7600 moves ahead. I'm clocking a 17 percentage point increase for the desktop GPU over Valve's integrated alternative. Meanwhile, the RX 6600 offers about 90% of Steam Machine GPU performance. 9060 XT is a good 40 percentage points ahead in this test.
This is like, I want to see the frame rate. Doom the Dark Ages. Yeah, let's see. Look at this. See, they need to be cooking around here like a 9060, a current one. They are matching up with the old 6600 in between a 76. These are old, man. They need to come out around here with this 9060.
And I'm using the Abyssal Forest state.
They'll be like
40p.
$5,000.
But do
then.
remember, this is native resolution and upscaling options are available. And the
Native 1440p optimized settings. 26 frames per second. Dude, these are not even hitting 30 frames. This is not a 1440p box. I don't know what he's doing. This is the Steam Machine is a 1080p machine. That's what it is. 1080p gaming, I think that's what it's for.
Valve hardware will get FSR4 support at some point. Here I'm seeing a 16 percentage point lead for the RX
Oh my god, he put ray tracing on?
settings. Similarly, Crimson Desert only saw an improvement within margin of error, like sub 1%.
Come on,
On
man.
a couple of
What
other
do you even
benchmarks,
mess
I
around
added
20
ray tracing
frames.
where there was none before. So in Forza Horizon 6, I kept the same settings and added medium RTGI and used FSR3 quality mode to improve the depressed frame rate level. End result is a 6 percentage point gain, though the problems in general performance still remain, clearly. Finally,
Can you imagine
with
playing this
Cyberpunk
game at 40? Holy shit.
2077, I
What else? What is this?
configurations here. The most obvious manifestation of being completely CPU limited. 1080p, PS5 performance mode settings, it's a viable real-world test. The 8500G doesn't seem to be PCI Express limited here, and I noted
Yeah, Steam Machine versus PS5. Let's
we
see
got a
this.
wealth of information on PC titles running
see
at
this part.
PS5 equivalent settings, so let's get straight into it. And we'll
Forza runs better on a Series S. Oh, shit. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. This is a base PS5.
start by revisiting the Crimson Desert CPU test on matched settings, and that includes using VSync as PlayStation 5 does. Not that this adds any particular cap to performance here on Steam Machine. We're well under 60 FPS. Returning to Bug Hill, Steam Machine performs significantly better when CPU
All right.
limited. A 34.8
It's also like $500 more. $500 more now. That's what I said. The Steam Machine needed to be around $500-$600, and it would have been for the specs, but not at the price. Like, they got to drop that price
FPS average.
because you're talking about a PS5 that came out in 2020, and this thing's coming out 2026. This should have came out like $500, man, and it would have been nice to have next to a PS5.
Across the run on PS5 is improved to 41.2
But
FPS
look how close it is to 6-year-old hardware, though.
average on Steam Machine. So the Valve hardware has more legs, clearly. We're also CPU limited in the city of Baldur's Gate in Baldur's Gate 3, and here's where things get weird. Using the default native Linux build, which is what will install if you download it, we're only 11% faster on Steam Machine versus PlayStation 5. However, force the use of Proton instead and use the original Windows code working through the translation layer, and we get a 24% improvement in performance against PlayStation 5. Larian did update Baldur's Gate 3 for Steam Deck, significantly improving CPU-bound performance and stability, but I'm wondering if those optimizations
It should have just not been announced, the Almighty says. Oh.
were deck-specific to the
Not with those
detriment of other
specs,
PC hardware. Put simply, if you're playing
It
Baldur's
is double
Gate
the price of what it should be for the performance.
5 GPU, we should expect.
And this is the other challenge is like this is not a closed like nobody's making games just for a Steam machine. Like that's the other challenge here. Like when you have a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Switch, you know, you may be able to get away with lower specs because you're going to have first-party developers making games using that configuration and trying to make the best of it. The problem with the Steam machine, it is a third-party box. It is just going to run everybody's games and whatever configuration you can muster up. This is the problem is that it's having. Wild Wolf, they can't compare it to a Pro because the Pro will blow it out of the water. And no controller. That's right, Zero Steel. The thing is like, if you have a console that's weaker, people are like, it's a weak console. But then there are developers that are focusing on the advantages of that console and its architecture to take advantage of it to make games better. No, that is not the scenario with the Steam machine. Steam machine is not getting that. Nobody's going to make a Steam machine exclusive game built on that configuration where maybe they could squeeze more juice out of the box. This thing is just going to run raw Steam machine games, Steam games. So whether they make a special configuration, they could do it. But I would say, the future of this thing, I would hold off. I'll wait for Steam Machine 2. Now's not the time. I don't think this thing really has that much of a future. Like with these specs, I think that this thing will be you're buying an antiquated device already out of the box compared to what's available on PCs currently. Or even for cheaper, you look at 77,000 series graphics cards. Even old graphics cards are outperforming it. I think that this is like a time machine. It's not a Steam machine. It's a time machine. You heard it here first.
How about those exclusives?
Steam machine is a time machine, man. This is like old hardware. This is old. And I think you buy this thing it's a brick in about a year or two.
Test versus the native Linux app. Full desktop app.
And there's a commercial. But yeah, you get the point. It's like on par with the PlayStation Performance Mode, and that's yeah. So I think if this is it's not a Steam machine, it's a time machine. There you go. It's just old. It's old, and then that price does not make it. Like I wouldn't even call it a beginner's PC. I don't even, not at those prices, dude. At those prices, I can't see. Let me see something. Let me see. I haven't seen this in a while, but let me double check. Let me see. Like, again, this is not a Valve. This is not Valves and stuff. But let me just see something. I just looked up on Amazon, right? How much RAM does this have? Let me see. So I just looked this up on Amazon, just like a mini gaming PC, right? Like these mini little PC things. And like here. So a mini gaming PC, Windows 11 Pro, it beats a 7730U or a 68U up to 24 gigabytes of RAM, DDR5, 512 SSD, mini computer, 4K display, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.3, $439. Like, that's something. I know it's not a Valve, but
You're my number
let's see
one
if I have
customer.
another one here. Now that's a shared, and that other one's shared as well. These Geekcoms one. Now what's this one? Shit! Wow, what is this one? Yeah, see, look at this. Now this one. Now you want to talk about the realm of a starting PC? You got something that's $13.99. So let's see in the realm of like, the realm of this thing. And I could tell you about this one right here. So this one, Geekom A9. So this one, a Geekom A9. This has the Ryzen AI9A HX370 chip. Dude, that chip is good. That is a good shared GPU chip there. Now, again, we're not getting dedicated, but this is $13.99. HX 370, a 1 terabyte SSD, a 32 gigabytes of RAM, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi 7. So this is around, the price of a Steam Deck with a controller, a Steam machine with a controller. But that is an 8090 mobile AMD chip. Yes, it's not a dedicated 8 gigs of RAM. That's still going to do that. But yeah, I don't know, man. That is some, just browsing quick on the internet. You got these mini PCs here. This one. What is this one? See, that's what I mean. Like, even these ones that have these, they have 32 gigabytes of RAM in them already for $400. I want to see if I can find one with, like, what I had with a dedicated GPU. And the other thing is that these support eGPUs because they're Windows. So you could put a Windows, you could put a 4070 plugged into this thing. You could plug this thing into a 4070. I'm just showing it for perspective, Wild Wolf. I'm just trying to let people know, like, fully educated. I'm not just going to shit on something without, like, doing a consumer look at it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just showing you what's out there. I'm not going to shit on the Steam machine and be like, yo, it's garbage, shit on and move on. I want to just show comparison of what's out there. Like, is inflation affecting everybody? And there's many PCs out there that are not too bad. But, to put things in the perspective of stuff. But I'm trying to see if one has a dedicated GPU. Does this one do? What does this one have? Yeah, this one does. Here we go. This has a discrete AUX. It's an Intel AUX one. Dude, that looks like a friggin' Guilty Spark one. What does this one have? But you could always plug in a GPU to some of these things as well. But I'm surprised the RAM. These things have 1 terabyte of shit for under $1,000. Oh, here it is. What's this one? What does this one have? GTX 1050. Damn, this has a 1050 in it for $599. 512, 16 gigs of RAM, $599. You have a dedicated NVIDIA GPU in there. I don't know. But yeah, I still think that Steam Deck is very high priced. I think it's going to sell out. They're probably not going to make tons of it. But I do think that it is very high. And, I do think so. But yeah, it is. They are. I don't know if they're trying to milk their fans or whatever they're doing over there on Valve, but yeah, because I'm not seeing that inflation, that level of inflation. I'm not seeing it on Amazon. That's what I wanted to see. I'm like, all these mini PCs hitting over $1,000, and I'm seeing mini PCs here for $400, $500. These little machines that you could put. They're perfect little emulator boxes, actually. That's how I started with them. They use them, put a bunch of ROMs and emulators on, plug them into the TV. You got an arcade to go. That's what I did. I plugged in one of those, my gaming drive into one of these things and plug it into my TV, and I'm off to the races. You have a full arcade right in your house, plus dedicated laptops. Exactly. You know what I mean? You want to see something crazy. This thing was. I don't even think it's on sale anymore. But this thing was a beast. I remember I had the Flow. But I returned it and got a regular laptop instead because I wanted a larger screen. But that Flow 13, man, that's at $2,000. Like, you're looking at 14. Where is it? This thing this thing was a friggin' beast. Where is it? I saw this on sale. I don't think it's on sale anymore. Oh no, it's not, dude. This was $2,100 yesterday. The Flow 13 tablet laptop. Yeah, this one was This one was $800 off this one. The ROG Flow with the AI Max 390. This GPU, I've tested this. This GPU, This GPU equivalent to about a 4060 dedicated one. This shared one. 13 inches is a full PC computer with a removable screen tablet with a 64 gigs of RAM shared, and you could allocate that to add more power to the processor. 1 terabyte SSD. Dude, this was $2,100 yesterday. It was on sale. I was going, oh man, I can't buy another computer. But that's a crazy price for that. Now it's too high. Now it's high, but it was $2,100 yesterday. I was just seeing if it's on. But that process, like, you're getting yourself a future-proof computer that's going to last you for the next 8 years. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you're spending $1,500 on a PC for gaming or usability and stuff. Like, you're in the $1,500. That's not just casual gaming on the couch territory. But I'm just trying to see if the inflation is what Valve's doing, and it really just looks like it's just Valve kind of just throwing their name out there and their stuff. Yeah, but no, it was $2,100 yesterday. But for $2,100, hey, if you need a tablet, laptop, all in one, and you're okay with a 13-inch screen, and you want a tablet touch screen like a Surface Pro on super steroids, if that thing ever hits $2,100, I'll tweet it out to let you know. But because that's how much I paid for it when I bought it last year, and then it went up to $30,000, and then I saw that the price dropped yesterday. I was like, holy crap! Now it went up again. But keep an eye on that one. I'm telling you, it's a kick-ass machine. The power of that machine is insane. That processor that came out last year, that AI Max, it is like a 4050, 4060 dedicated. And because it's not a dedicated GPU, the battery life is not too bad on that. But anyway, you saw it. I did a review on it last year. But PC talks aside, let's cool our PC tongues. Let's talk about rakes and the disaster. Hit that like button. Let's see if I missed any super chats while we were talking about the PC. But I just wanted to just see if that inflation is everywhere, and it just looks like it's just Valve kind of adding definitely a Valve tax per se on that Steam machine for that old tech high price. Because I just showed you a bunch of new current tech where you have current specs, 32 RAM, things like that, and 1 terabyte in there for under that, for $500. Like, so inflation exists. Like, there's definitely some wild stuff going on. I've seen it with the SD cards, but Valve is definitely putting their spin on it with that Steam machine. So I don't know if they just didn't make as many because of the price cost and they just want to make their money back. That could be why that price is so high. Maybe they didn't make that many of them. This is not a console that we typically see where they make them in bulk and ship them out for ultimate saturation. I don't think that's the purpose of the Steam machine. It's more of a boutique now at that price. It's not a $500, $600, hey, let me give it a shot like the Steam Deck was. This Steam machine now is like you're looking at, do you get a laptop? Do you get a PC? Do you get a mini PC? There's a lot more options when you're looking at those high prices. So, maybe they didn't make enough of them. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they only made a couple million. Like, hey, just let's make our money back. Let's price it over $1,000 and try to make it back. And if there's a demand there, maybe they maybe they drop the price. I don't know. D Almighty with the 2, he goes, on X, it's compared to a Series S and lost. Oh my God. They compared to a Series S? Eee. Yeah, because it's not it's old tech, dude. It is old. It's old.
Expect the Steam machine to fall a little short. Let's kick off with Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, we just saw that. But yeah. That's what I said for that price. That's crazy, man. And I'm not even going to put a poll up because I guess I know a majority of nobody's getting this thing. I'm not getting it. Not for that price. No way. That is. I would buy that thing and feel like I'm in a time machine. Like, oh, take me back to tech from 3 years ago. But I'm not. No, that is not cutting edge. $1,000 I'm paying for something that's at the cutting edge or like something that's current. I feel like you're buying that and you're entrapping yourself that you're gonna have to buy. It's like buy nice or buy twice. You buy that thing, you're gonna be like, yo, I gotta run these games at like 1080. It's like, if you were buying a laptop, a computer, and you're like, man, I really don't want to spend that much money on the graphics card. I'm just gonna go with like a 2020 or something like that, and And then it's like, I'm just going to buy this old 980, graphics card. And it's like, no, man, you should get the 4. Nah, man, I'm just going to do this old 20 card, 2010. And it, and then they stop playing games like, yo, these games run like shit, man. They run like shit. Well, you got to upgrade. And it's like, oh, man, I would have known. I should have done that before. It's like, now you got to buy twice now. Now you got to go buy a 40 series. And that's how I feel buying a Steam machine. Like, you're buying that thing, and you immediately, once you start playing games on it, you're going to be like, oh, shit, I need more power. Like, I need more. And you can't upgrade it. You can't throw a GPU in it. Like, all these PC tropes that you do, like, throw some more PC, put more GPU in it, put more RAM in it, put more. Yeah, no, you're not doing that. So all those great things where you got this upgrade path where I'll buy it now and then I'll upgrade it over time. You're not upgrading that much. You can upgrade the space, but that's about it. The innards are the innards. So, like, you're kind of screwed, and a Steam machine is a time machine, basically. Take me back in time. The wooden Steam plate looks like a great-grandpa console. Yeah, like, that's the thing about it. Yeah. It's old. It's too old for that price. Like, as soon as you buy it, you can be like, oh, I got to get a new computer. So one thing that really wasn't news but became news was let's go to the Halo. Yeah, hit that like button, grinders. We covered this sort of on the community the grindhouse, but on a wonderful, what was it, June 19th on Friday at 3:10, Halo's like, hey guys, hey man, Pierre over at Halo was like, hey man, he talks like Arnold. If you ever heard Pierre over at of A303, he's like, do you not want to be a great day on June 19th will be to release a Halo question and answers session. You know Pierre, right? Pierre from Halo Studios, right? That's how he talks. He's like, this will be a great opportunity. Here he is.
My name is Pierre Hinze. Preferred pronouns he, him. And my role is I'm head of production at Halo Infinite.
So he said, this is a great opportunity. Maybe not the same accent, but this is a great opportunity to share some question and answers on Juneteenth. And by the way, happy Juneteenth to everybody who celebrated on, Friday was a vacation day for some. Happy Juneteenth, and also happy Father's Day. I forgot to say, we got right into the news. Hope everybody had a great holiday weekend there. But anyway, back to Halo. They go, it's a great opportunity. Some people offer vacation to do a wonderful questions and answers because you got questions and we got answers. This is a great opportunity for Pierre Hines. So he said, this is what he said. Let's ask some questions. No, his pronouns are fool and dumbass. That's what their pronouns are, swagbag. That's what his pronouns should be. Be fool and dumbass. I don't know what company steps on the rake and messes up their own question and answers session. It's like, ask Pierre anything. I don't know how a company messes up their own Q&A. Nobody was asking for it. Nobody was asking for more information about an old game. But they're like, let's get some advertisement and marketing for our new game. And it's like, oh, shit. And some person, I don't know who in 2026 is asking for Xbox account requirements, unless this is somebody's parents. I don't know why this is a question, and I want to know who asked this question. Because we know how games work, co-op works. We play co-op. I don't know why this question came up. Similar to the question to Mr. Matt Bootyhole when they asked them, hey, so we're going to be still showing logos of other people on our show. Well, that's a great question. So somebody must ask this question. And it's like, yes. I will tell you about the Xbox account requirements. Notice how the question was about the Xbox account requirements, but Pierre and friends decided to go deeper than that and explain the account requirements for PlayStation and Steam. Interesting, Grinders. Yet again, another pretend question from Team Xbox. Another pretend question. Oh, well, that's wonderful that you asked that question. Like, you could have stopped right at the Xbox. Why are you telling me about other? The question is about what are the Xbox account requirements? Why are you telling me about PlayStation? Oh, anyway, loaded question. But anyway, this question, I don't know how I mess up the Q&A. They since fixed it. But it was that you will need the PlayStation 1. You will need 2 PlayStation Plus accounts. And they made it that 2 people playing on the split screen will need to have PlayStation Plus online. That means they have to be paying subscribers of PlayStation Plus to play online. And that sat there for 2 days. And people went all over the internet writing dissertations of why this is happening. This man made a 3-hour video on why they're sabotaging the PlayStation version because they want you to go buy an Xbox. Clownery in these streets. Shout out to Porter Rock. Manabyte wrote a whole dissertation. Jeremy's. I don't want to read this shit, but this was his explanation why PlayStation required an online account for co-op. He has his explanation. Let's scroll down. His explanation, he must have knew something. He went on, at the end of the day, it's not Microsoft's fault. So everybody was blaming Xbox. People were blaming greedy PlayStation. But Jeremy spelled it all out in his biblical proportions of why you need to pay for 2 accounts on PlayStation because they want Microsoft accounts, and it's Sony greed, and Microsoft is innocent. Thank you for your dissertation, Jeremy. So this went on. We had a man do 3-hour videos for all this stuff because Halo couldn't do their question and answer session. They continued to go on explaining. Let's see, where there was some more. Let's see, there was some more. They say here, Colt Eastwood came in there. He was going on there. He was spending all Father's Day deleting tweets. Because what happened was, in 24 hours, after 5 Dreamcast guy videos, a dissertation by Jeremy, Colt Eastwood spending his Father's Day deleting tweets, and Mr. It's Coming shaving off his beard, Halo says, oops, we made a mistake. PlayStation Plus subscriptions are not required for local co-op. Split screen. I posted, they didn't require it in Minecraft. Is this a new Microsoft policy that wants you to have your Microsoft account attached? That's right, Frog. Shout out the frogs. That Steam machine is crazy. We just spoke about it for an hour and a half. Craziness. Local split screen co-op only requires a PlayStation account, but not a Plus account. Oh, Pierre and then followed this face from Pierre. How Pierre celebrated his weekend. Going, guys. How do we get our own question and answers wrong, Pierre? This is how Pierre made his face after he had to correct that. Yeah, Cole thought he had a hit piece. They just made a mistake. But people were blaming greedy Sony, making you pay twice. They were blaming the PlayStation greed. They were justifying why Microsoft wanted that account. And Pierre just messed up as frequently asked questions. I still see there's 343 still in his blood. 343 still exists over there. It's just lipstick on a pig. Halo Studios, it's still the same nincompoops that are operating over there. Because my take of this whole fiasco was that question and answer session was supposed to be a PR stunt. It was supposed to be something to gain interest into Halo that's coming in another month. Instead, it became a fiasco. People were canceling their pre-orders on PlayStation going, I'm not paying for 2 accounts for local co-op. I'm not paying $70 a year for 2 accounts to play locally on my PC, on my PlayStation. I'm not doing that. I'm canceling my PlayStation pre-order. Like, do you realize that the whole existence of Halo Combat Evolved, or Evolve, whatever the hell it is to launch on PlayStation? Because they played it 3 times on PC and on Xbox. This is the first time it's on a PlayStation. And you go and make that oopsie for the one platform that you want this game to sell and piss off everybody thinking that they got to pay twice to play offline co-op. Oopsie. And then you got your basically Xbox green-skirted cheerleaders running around out there, double downing on it, going, aha. And I talked about this on my show, but one thing I'm going to say, Tim Dog, you've reached new levels of glazing. You are officially at a glaze level 6. There's no hope for you here at the Grindhouse. I may be able to get you down to a 5.5, but there's no coming back from this, Tim Dog. I don't know what's going on. But the next time you come in here, we're going to have, I don't have enough towels, enough essential oils, and staff to deglaze you. You're on your own. I saw Tim Dog saying that this was a way for Microsoft to sabotage the PlayStation version. That is some glaze level 6 shit right there. Tim Dog is at a full DEFCON 6 level glaze. And there's only one thing that you could do when somebody is at that level of a glaze. And that's when you got to just hit the button and say, Tim Dog, this is for you.
Juicy, 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 glah, 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 glaze, glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of Janky Jones. Pancake, shake my head, Xbox marketing.
What are we doing here? That is down to the DNA.
Juicy, 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 glah, 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 glaze, glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of Janky Jones. Pancakes, shake my head, Xbox marketing. And juicy, 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 glah, 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 glaze, glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of Janky Jones. Pancakes, shake my head, Xbox marketing.
There's no coming back from that. I've never. He thinks that they were sabotaging it, because they like, and that's why no more Halos are coming to PlayStation after this one. Yo, I saw that. I turned off my phone. My phone was. I was like, I'm not even looking at this. This is diabolical. Don John, that's right. Yo, they ripped out their eyeballs. There's no need for eyeballs where we're going. That's what he said. Yo. And then Asha said this.
How about those exclusives?
Yeah, how about them exclusives? But there you go. That's what happened. Dreamcast Guy did 15 videos where incorrectly stated that the PlayStation Plus is not required for the local account, and local split screen just requires a PlayStation account to link it up with a Microsoft account because we're dirty bastards. And you don't need to pay for online. Yeah, that was that. What a step on rake. Again. And then to add to the wonderful hype train of Halo Combat Evolved, will there be a photo mode and theater mode? Oh, I can't wait. A theater mode like in Halo 3, right? Yeah. There's a blind skull that hides your UI and weapons and hands from view. And there's an acrophobia skull that makes you fly. But there's no current plans for a photo mode or theater mode in Halo Combat Evolved. You know, Grinders, let me tell you something. What the fuck? What the hell is this shit? What the hell is this reach around goddamn Phil Spencer Asha AI bullshit?
How about those exclusives?
I asked if there was a photo mode or a theater mode like every other friggin' Halo game had a theater mode, and you here giving me some skull fucking bullshit. There's a blind skull that, wait a second, this is what you're telling me is some reach around horse shit photo mode. Are you kidding me with this shit? Are you kidding me? Where was the rage about this one all weekend? I'm asking if there's a glorious photo mode, and you go, well, there's a skull that removes your HUD, your weapons, and your hands. What? So you can't take a picture of your character. And in third person, I guess you can't take a picture of him in photo mode either. And then it says, and you add acrophobia skull. And it allows you to, what? What kind of reach around horse shit skull fucking bullshit is this? What are we doing here?
How about those exclusives?
What the hell is this shit? What? And answer, no, we suck. Thank you. We're 343. What the fuck do you expect? That's the answer. We got to play some Jeopardy with these clowns. Will there be photo mode or theater mode? Answer, no. We're just 343 with lipstick on. What the hell? Well, there's a skull here and a skull here. You could combine these two skulls and then maybe you could fly. What? No. Photo mode, aperture, focal distance. Like, yeah, a photo mode. I know, hide my arms, hide my hands from view. What? So it hides my character? What? That's not a photo mode. Can we wear the Mark IV armor in the base 10 missions? We love the Mark IV armor. We understand the desire to wear it everywhere. We understand you. We hear you. We know you want it. But it's only going to be available in the 3 new missions. Just stop. Get over here. Yeah, it's your time. Get over here. Yeah, you want to talk? Yeah, say it. Tell him. Huggy, get it. Huggy.
Stop. Enough.
Get it back over to the wall. Thank you. We know you love it. We hear you. You love it. But you can't do it. Well, goofy ass answer these questions. This is where the real content is. I don't know why everybody stopped at question number 2. How does the new third-person mode work? Is it possible to play this right from the start? That'd be awesome, right? The ability to play third person is optional to experience what game can be enabled once you found the perspective skull hidden in one of the game's 13 fucking missions. Oh, it's not even a freaking mode. It's not even a mode. It's a secret skull hidden in the 13 missions. Oh, shit on me. You guys suck. You suck. Why would you do that? Oh, it's probably on mission 13. Oh, shit. You got to play the whole game and then they find the skull on mission 13. Who did this on a Friday? I don't understand. Am I losing my shit? Space Money, I need to know. Am I losing my shit? Or is this some ludicrous question and answers right here? Cal says, bro, just make it a setting like RE Requiem. No. No, Cal. We're going to make it a hidden skull on one of the 13 missions, and you go find it. Well, that sucks because I wanted to play in third person because I played the game 4 times already. It would be nice to play it in third person mode. But now I got to go on some skull hunt. Oh, shit. And what mission is it on, Pierre? That is a good question. I thought about it, and I put the skull on end of mission 13. So therefore, you're looking for all the stupid skulls, and then when you get to 13 skull, there's your third person. And then you can go play the game again, and again, and again, and again. Oh, shit, Pierre, that sucks. Oh, man. But yes, Josh, they acted like it was a feature. They had all the clowns. I played Halo Combat Evolved in third person. It's great. Making it look like it was just a camera switch. It's a hidden skull on one of the 13 missions. Great. And then if I get 2 other skulls, I could pretend camera mode where it removes everybody from the screen and I can fly around. And I can do pretend camera mode.
You're my
Bootleg
number
camera.
1 customer.
This is insane. And now that wonderful third person mode. If I customize my Spartan, will they show up in cutscenes with that armor? And here's the wonderful answer from Quality Halo Studios. The stank just comes off the screen when I say Halo Studios. Here's their answer. Does my custom character, custom Spartan show up in the cutscenes? Here's the answer. To ensure the narrative remains faithful to the original game as possible, all your personalized customization options will not show up during cutscenes. Man, yo. You could see the deflection. Xbox guys didn't want to realize that this is some bogus bullshit bootleg Halo. This is supposed to get me excited? Dude, you made everybody go phallic right now. Flaccid. This is some bullshit. Everybody went boo. Nobody's standing up erect for this shit. What the hell is this shit? This is like wake up in the morning and somebody just took a shit in my cereal. Who thought that this Q&A was going to get people excited? Typical Microsoft. Typical. Grinders, this is by the books. This is Matt Booty Cheeks in action. This is Asha.
How about those exclusives?
All this shit. And I don't know, why would you put these questions out there? You want to know why? It's to set expectations like, oh yeah, well, yeah, nah, this shit sucks. It's all damage control. Just like the Booty interview about the logos that flipped out. This is a damage control question and answers. That's what this was. A damage control. Hey, people are expecting this stuff. We showed them the third-person camera. They may think there's a photo mode. Yeah, let's get that shit out of the way in a fake question and answer. Ask us anything. Damage control post. And that's what this is. This is what's not in the game, so don't expect it. No photo mode, so you don't go running around on reviews going, no photo mode sucks. Third-person camera, not available at launch, sucks. My Spartan's not customized in the cutscenes, sucks. That's what this is. This is damage control for Halo. Because once again, Booty gave the colonoscopy and scoped the shit out of all their goddamn games. And Matt Booty's still there doing the stuff. Again, when Microsoft talks about their games, it's always what's not in the game. I swear to God, this is what I say every friggin' time. Whenever they talk about their games, they always lead what's not in the game, what's not at launch, what's not available on day one. Shotguns, what can't we do? Co-op won't be there. This won't be. this is what they do. They shit on your expectations. Instead of ramping you up and hyping you up about it, they just shit on your dreams. They do this all the goddamn time. It sucks. Game Night with the 5, he goes, can I add subtitles to this game? Answer, adding subtitles is possible once you find the audio skull. Exactly, dude. They'll have the friggin' Xbox feedback skull next Game Night. We heard your feedback on the forums. There's a Halo Xbox feedback skull. And when you get it, Twitter will open up and you could tweet at Asha. There's a co-op thing. All right, so it'll level up your co-op. If you can level up the damage resistance, shield recharge, melee, ammo. Okay, so that in your lobby. There are achievements that won't be earnable. Can you still backpack reload? We love this button glitch in the original Halo, so we wanted to preserve it in a stowed Reload skull. We're going to do the I Heard You skull. Will there be more content or features, such as additional story DLC, firefight, new skulls, the feedback skull, more customizations after launch? Like, this would be wonderful, right? Halo was meant to be a remake of the original and providing 3 fun new prequel missions. There are no plans to expand the game into a live service with continued content or feature add-ons. I didn't know by adding some DLC to a game, it's considered a live service game. Adding some extra content to a game, I didn't know that meant that it was a live service game. It doesn't even have online. What are you talking about? You mean adding updates? We heard you. So does that mean that there's no patches for the game? Because according to your definition, that would consider as a live service. If you added a firefight to it, that's a live service? That's expanding the game into a live service by saying, hey, we added a new mode, we added some more skulls, live service. Will there be assassinations that they took away from Halo Infinite because they said nobody liked him? No! Thank you. There you go. And that's the devastating question and answers. There you go. Step on a rake. Good job. Good job for there. And then, grinders, we're going to wrap up a couple of topics here in a whole Xbox bloodbath scenario because it is not looking good. This came back again. I thought this was really weird. Another article popped up about this whole major structural changes for the Xbox division to spin off. And a joint venture and conversation. So Microsoft is reportedly exploring major structural changes for the Xbox division, including a spin-off, joint venture, or conversation into the wholly owned subsidiary, as it faces margin pressure and shift focus towards higher growth AI and cloud business. This seems like old news because we talked about this last week, but it's coming up again. And it came back in the news. And what I thought was this usual whales. Like, who's this? And it is a 4.3 million followers. Stocks, options, crypto marketing news, tools, not advice. And I just thought it was really weird now, like these financial services and other kind of non-gaming media is picking up that whole thing. It's old news. You see, people saw damage control and going, it's old news, leave it alone. But more and more, like, it's kind of like what you don't understand is that we heard about it first. We heard about the memo. We get it in our circles and here and there and, the internet, YouTube. But then, like, the businesses start picking it up and now outward start doing it. And that's kind of where the level is. The fact that this has not been squashed at kind of our level and it's continued to permeate throughout now financial. This Twitter account is 4.3 million followers. Like, this is not no like sock account that was created overnight. Tweeting this out with 1,000.1 likes. Like, this is not small change, like social media interaction. So the fact that these kind of accounts are now sharing this news, and Xbox and Asha have been quiet. Have you noticed that, Grinders? Let's go check in on Asha-ness. Grinders, the last time she tweeted out, do you remember how frequent she was on the internet? Her 101 days, it's not the nice days anymore. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. The last tweet she made was the call to arms, you're getting cooked. That was 12 days ago. She has not tweeted since or replied to anything. The feedback, hear you. She's back. The whole thing about, shutting down and spinning off and layoffs and this. Not even a peep from her. Not even a peep. You go back and look at a tweet. She tweeted June 7th. That was the day. June 7th. The E-Day's coming. June 7th. That was the big day, right? June 6th, leading up to it. May 22nd. May 20th, she tweeted out. Retweeted Matt Ball on May 20th. May 17th. May 15th. May 14th. Every day, Asha on there. May 13th. May 6th. May 5th. May 1st. The 30th, April. 29th of April. The 23rd of April. We Are Xbox. The 23rd. Congratulations, Compulsion Games. Get ready. Congratulations. The door. You're gonna change the locks on them next week. The 22nd of April. The 21st. She's there grabbing Kojima's ass. The 21st of April. The 20th. The 16th. The 14th. There's a NASA landing. Asha Live on the 10th. The April 8th. April 6th. Blizzard retweeting. Dude, she has been radio silent for 12 days. And her last tweet was her memo of death. This one. And she hasn't interacted, no replies, no tweets. Leach says her true colors are showing. Now, if this person really did want to build on the momentum of what she was leading up to with FanFest, don't you think a tweet should have came out just reassuring people hey, it was great seeing people this was my first FanFest. It was great to meet people. It was great to see the games in action. We have such a great lineup of games that we've shown, and we're really excited about what's coming, and kind of PR it back to good news of what they've shown. No. It's I shown what I did, and here's Death Note. She hasn't tweeted since. No recap of what they shown. No kind of great meeting people. My first Fan Fest. Look forward to the future Fan Fest that we're having. Here's the games, coming out and saying,
How about those exclusives?
Yeah, great. Announcing is nothing. Nothing, dude. Silence. 12 days. Her death memo, her death note, and that was it. The harsh realities, some hard times. And then having the tweets permeate about spinning off the business. Oh, real, we're just showing how Asha been quiet. Her true colors. She really cared about the FanFest and bringing back FanFest. She didn't say anything about it. She came back from FanFest her next day, day 101, said there's some hard times and reset Xbox. What happened to this is Xbox? Bring back Xbox. Xbox. What happened? And nothing where we're not spinning off the business. No, these are not things that we're doing. We're just evaluating. Nope, nothing. No trying to stop that PR, and now it permeated to accounts with 4.3 million followers in business accounts. They want it to permeate there because they would have tried to stop it before that. They want it at that level because that's the reality of what they want their stockholders. That's the reason why this memo is public and sitting there on the Xbox gaming news site of Xbox Wire. Her and Matt Booty, June 10th. They haven't said anything since. It's been 12 days. No peep from them. The next peep is all these studios shutting down. I just thought it was really interesting. Kira, her true identity. But it just shows that, it just confirms that everything that she was building up to on that showcase was a facade. It was fake. Because there's no callback to that. There's nothing to build off that momentum. And the fact that the day after she did that to the fans, she basically just roasted their hearts in just talking about the reset of the business and the harsh realities and people not going to like the choices that we're going to make. And then the words coming out about it being a bloodbath, it being a disaster thing, they're not even trying. They're not even addressing any of these things. Xbox founding staff member says the original skepticisms are coming true. We could cover that video. Oh, what did he say? Oh, I forgot to click on this video. The PlayStation bitches knew it. He's back. Oh, he was blaming Halo? I didn't even see this one. Oh, whose grandma's this?
But I did say that this was on Sony, and I'm going to double down on that because it is on Sony. Now, if you are going to sit there and be deluded and be, somewhat just brainwashed, whatever you want to call it, right? If you're going to sit there and say to yourself, they got it wrong, it was all on Microsoft, yada, 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 you're just being an absolute tool. And so what's happened here is that Sony's gone back and said, right, we can see this is a big problem. This is going to be a bad PR. We can't come out and say that we are enforcing this because that will make us look even worse. So what we're going to do is remove that requirement. That's essentially what's happened here. Everything I reported on yesterday wasn't a lie, wasn't fabrication. It's how this...
What the? Is he reading the same screen? Like, is that... this got to be some green screen shit. Like, they put that... He's seriously reading this and making those statements. Whose grandma is this? Whose grandma? What the hell's going on here? I don't even know how this guy still has a YouTube channel when he got embarrassed by, it's coming! Dude, that's all you should do in your videos. Just go, it's coming! Chaos. Like, what? This man is reading those words and he is in a delusion. Like, yo, man. Glaze level 6. We've seen it. I told you there's no coming back from this. There you go. That's in the face of a Glaze level 6 Xbox Glaze. There he is. Got him. Got him. There's a Glaze 6.
Glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of Janky Jones. Pancake, shake my head. Xbox marketing.
That is a full level Glaze 6. You've seen it live here. There it is. Let's see. Let's see. That is a full level Glaze. We're just going to put this right over there. There we go. That's better. What the hell is wrong with these people? What is going on? That's better. That's more like it.
Juicy, glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of Janky Jones. Pancakes, shake my head, Xbox marketing.
That's more like it. I listen. I just don't get it. He thinks that like Sony made the call. Dude, that is level 6. I tell you, that is like a Tim Dog level. Like, they're saying that they made a mistake because they're dumbasses over there. Did you read the rest of the Q&A? Because I did, Mr. It's coming! It's coming! Not in your face, it's coming! Like, I don't understand it. You're reading this right there. Did you read the rest of that bitch-ass goddamn Q&A? Because it sucked. No, obviously you didn't. So what kind of Xbox fan are you? You didn't even read the rest of that disappointing Q&A. But you think that Sony told them to remove the... Yo, dude. Bless your soul. Bless your heart. Xbox Glaze. There's no coming back. Level 6. I wondered why I didn't click on it before. But now, I don't know if the grinders are happy that I did. But Jesus. that person needs help. That is a DNA level glaze right there. There's nothing coming back from that one. And he's standing by, doubling down that Sony made the call and told him to remove it. Oh, man. Yo. Oh, who did this? Oliver Doggo did this. Look at this. Satya, the future is bright. Looking forward to the most diverse and ambitious games we've built for 3 billion players around the world. That was Satya in 2023. Let's hear Satya now.
A memo today saying that, so as a big gamer who's enjoyed many happy hours on Xbox, Satya, I have to ask, what is your strategy for Xbox?
The challenge now for us is to think about how do you innovate both in hardware as well as in the games going forward in a world, in an economically viable way.
I think
one of the things that Asha, who's just taken over Xbox.
Not a viable way, a viable way. Just to let you know, it has to be in a viable way. A viable way. We need Xbox in a viable way.
Put out is that we've invested a lot. No one can accuse Microsoft of not having invested for the last 25 years.
And that hurts Satya. That hurts him. That hurts him down to the bone.
And now we have to turn this into a sustainable business that delivers what is fundamentally one of the best sources of entertainment still. The challenge we have is we're not been monetizing that entertainment. In fact, if anything, we've been subsidizing that entertainment. In fact, like there's more monetization of Xbox games happening on YouTube than at Microsoft.
I mean,
but the future is bright, though, Satya said in 2023. Oh, man, dress this man up in a Mickey Mouse costume. That's an Xbox glaze right there. Oh, man. I hope that you guys met our glaze session. There we go. But my gosh. But yeah, dude, it is bad. And the fact that Asha didn't even say anything or anybody say anything, yeah, it is definitely weird that they're just letting this thing run. The bloodbath nomenclature, all this stuff going through. It is not good. It is not good at all. There you go.
Want to hit the accelerator on these titles. Halo, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. They really want to hit the accelerator on these titles. And yeah, I mean, look, for me, that just already seems kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like Halo is a very legacy franchise at this point. If you think that Halo is going to be what brings your business back, I think you're like really misunderstanding where things are currently at. I think as well, like Elder Scrolls and yeah, I'm sure Elder Scrolls is going to shift a lot of units, but like Bethesda Game Studios' last 2 games were Fallout 76 and Starfield, so I feel like that's a risky proposition. I don't know, man. I just feel like that whole strategy seems very short-sighted, and I think if you're going to go down this path of like, let's close a bunch of smaller studios and invest in our hits, I think you better have some more compelling hits than like hoping Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be good, if you know what I mean. So
that's the other thing that's been going around as well. Is like this whole
How about those exclusives?
Because they're realizing that it's more about, do they even have the games leverage to even try to do what they're trying to do? And they don't. Like I said, Bartholomew Booty Cheeks is still there. And they tried interviewing Matt Booty for comment, and he's just like, I'm not a smart man. Like, that's it? Mama, I'm just not a smart man. Booty Gump, are you serious? Like, Mama said I was just, stupid is, stupid does, and I'm just not a smart man. Oh my God, Booty Gump. Like, the thing is that the games have always been the problem. Since day one. Satya's like, nobody could accuse us of not investing. It's like, who gives a shit? Who's accusing you of not investing in games? That was never the problem. Nobody wants you to go spend money to spend yourself out of business. Again, I'm not a smart man. Matt Booty said they're going to spend them out of business. Spend Sony out of business. Meanwhile, Matt Booty, Xbox spent itself out of business. Yes, I'm not a smart man. You're not. Do they even have the claims to bring people back? They don't. They don't. And they're saying, like, Gears pulled off a PlayStation. Is that going to bring them back? What happens after Gears? This Combat Evolved where you could do some skull bullshit photo mode? It's crazy. They don't even put quality modes in their quality games. They don't go, oh, yeah. People ask, and in their own in their own frequently asked questions, they're making their game get less hype. Oh, will there be a photo mode? No, you could put two skulls together and maybe try to make something happen. Third person, will that be available day one? You showed it. No, it's a hidden skull in one of the 13 levels. What? How many levels do I need to play to activate third person mode? Why is it like that? They suck at games, man. They just don't know how to make games that people want to engage in. And they're not good at marketing at all. They put their foot in their mouth, step on whatever rake they do. And that's the problem with Asha. She don't know. Matt Booty sucks. And the rest of the team that even knew what Xbox was is gone. There's a bunch of AI folk over there. So who's going to make that banger of a game to bring everybody back? Nobody. That's the problem. And people are seeing that going like, well, what is the long-term plan here? Who is bringing people back? And on top of that, with them running around saying spin off the business and like, think about, like, this is the one thing I wanted to show you here. Like, this I wanted to show you. Actually, we'll go right to Asha's thing because I wanted to show you something. Because I want to give an image for what I'm about to say. And it was on her day. Which one? I want to just give an image here. Well, maybe not this one. This one. Yeah, I want to know this one. Is this the one? Yes. This one. This is a powerful image. You see that memo. You hear what she wrote in that memo. You see the spin-off news getting picked up by financial outlets now in the second go-round. And there's no communication from her or from anybody from Xbox, not even Satya, acknowledging about all the stuff. And Satya talking about the business being subsidized. And think about you being a person in that room, on that staircase, on that balcony, not the Grindhouse balcony where we have a good time, on that balcony. And she's addressing you in that memo. She's letting you know how you failed. And she now is here to clean up house. And then you see the media when you go online and you look at Xbox and you see they're saying we're going to spin off. They're saying they're going to shut these studios down. They're saying these games may never come out. If you are a developer in that room, if you are on that balcony, on that staircase, and your job is being toyed around the internet like some goddamn just dangling fruit, and the leaders sitting there, Assface himself, Matt Booty, Ashanada, are not addressing and defending your role, your position, your purpose. And they're just sitting back and just letting the internet run wild with all this stuff. And speculation of studio shutdowns. And the last tweet you have is roasting these people. What happens when all this shit goes down? Who is going to have any kind of dedication to this brand? The leftovers, the people that remain, the studios that remain, the developers that remain, the Xbox quote people that remain. Who is going to have any hope or future or enthusiasm to work for this team? Who? You are killing all morale. Whatever fake morale you built up since February to these people has been destroyed overnight with your memo and the constant just speculation and what's going to happen and the hard times that once these people get let go or something happens, who the hell in their right mind is going to stand proud to work for Xbox? What studio is going to put that on their CV that I'm working for Xbox? You're going to be afraid. You're not going to have any kind of morale or being prideful to make that next banger for Xbox, to be that leading team. It kills all morale because the way public firing, exactly, Space Money. How do these people respond? Because in a post-layoff world, after this, quote, bloodbath, is Asha and Matt Booty going to be enough? And their lack of games that people are speculating, they don't even know what they have anymore to leverage this brand anymore. And knowing what we spoke about the Hellblade being shown for investors and E-Day getting pulled off of PlayStation and the whole
How about those exclusives?
this facade, because her silence after FanFest and not addressing what they did there and just being the harsh realities that she's telling these people and the word bloodbath and nobody's coming out from her to... She was on Twitter every friggin' day saying something positive about Xbox. She wrote that one memo of roasting them all, and she's like gone silent for 12 days. And let this just run through the media and run now to financial companies with 4.3 million subscribers, just saying like they're going to spin off the business and not trying to have anybody discuss that. It makes me think that showcase, that fan fest, that whole 5 levels of catering was all a sales pitch to show interest in Xbox and to have investors think about possibly eventually buying it off. That's what I think. If they did that for Hellblade, if Hellblade is something that is going to be shut down and they show that as a scene for investors, who says that the whole entire thing that they did was a facade for investors? The pictures that she took, the fans being there, showing that there's something for the brand. A potential buyer going, hey, look, wow, there are people that went to Xbox and put up the X and cheering for exclusives. Like there is some value to this brand. And I think it was a false showcase. It was Silver Wolf. I'm thinking it may be, if they did it for Hellblade 2, which is nobody shot down that rumor. If they did it for Hellblade 2, where they knew that studio was going to get closed and Hellblade 2 was being shown for investors to potentially buy them, who says that the whole show, the whole Xbox fiasco, the fan fest, Asha on stage, handing out Xboxes, showing that there's still interest in the brand, publicly showing it, isn't a call to investors going, hey, if we eventually put this business up for sale down the line, I want to go back to these days to show you there's still excitement for this brand. It was like I don't know. I was just thinking about it in the sense of like how fake she has been, because if this was a real leader, she would be running off the momentum of what they've shown, the games, the fan fest, and all that stuff, and sharing it. She was nonstop. But the fact that she dropped a memo the next day before those people even could land their planes and just said, we're roasting this whole friggin' team, and it's hard times and hard decisions, things you're not going to like. And she hasn't said anything since. And she said even in that memo, if you look, even in her memo, she says the days of just quick, happy wins are gone. She writes it right here. She says it right here. Hey, thank you, Flow State. Send me the Flow State from Monte White. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Like right here, this part right here. And knowing about the 3%, they're also breaking even, like 3% accountability model, just publicly putting that out there. But the days of quick wins are over. Where is it? Here it goes. For some of you, these realities will be surprising and frustrating to discover. We won't succeed hiding hard truths, nor will we succeed by doing the same thing, expecting different results. Like the, quote, everyday wins mentality from the first 100 days, we will sprint to make progress against hardware, content, experience, and services together. See? The whole mentality of everyday wins, that's when she was tweeting every day. Everyday wins, make everybody look good, make it look good. We're not doing that now. Now it's the hard times. And I think, just rethinking this stuff, I'm thinking that she's there as the streamliner. Mike Johnson says she may resign. I don't think she's there for a long time. She's not there for the long term. She's there to flatten the business. She's there to prepare that business to look good for a potential somebody. And her job is to make it somewhat profitable so that it can sustain on its own or it's attractable to a buyer. That's what I think she's doing. Because no way is she going to gut this business and make it a bloodbath and expect people to still be, we are Xbox. Because she just threw them under the bus in this video, in this wire thing. Even these realities will be surprising. Some of these people didn't even know they suck so bad, that the thing stuck so bad. And she's still frustrating to discover. She's telling them that Santa Claus don't exist. Like, she's like ruining them. That's to her employees. How do you expect to rebound from that and make them we are Xbox again? They're gonna be like, shut up. You just publicly embarrassed us and told us that we're nothing and that we gotta be erased. So I think there is no rebound here. This is a reset to make Xbox look good as something to spin off or be acquired. And her job is to flatten the business, make it look good and prepared for sellers, like pre-wrapping their gift to deliver it. And that's what I think she's doing. Because she's done tweeting. Like, she's done saying, rah, rah, Xbox, rah, rah. She said it's over. Everyday wins are over. We're done with the everyday wins. Now we got the harsh realities. And what's crazy is that it doesn't stop just with them trashing their own business. But, like, this whole thing came out about the Ori dev. Like, this is not, like, Ori dev says that Game Pass could have worked if Xbox didn't slop out mediocre content like a factory. This is the Moon Studios CEO who put Ori in Game Pass. Says that Microsoft has not delivered enough hit games. The director of Xbox's critically acclaimed Ori games has criticized Microsoft's Game Pass strategy, claiming that the subscription service could have been a big success if the company didn't incentivize studios to slop out mediocre content like a factory. And who was that? Matt Dirty Ass Booty. And we go. He says right here, Thomas Moa, who directed both Ori games. Jeez, look at this website. It's like ads. I feel like the viruses are coming through my computer. Wrote on X that he believed Game Pass hasn't been more successful because Xbox did not produce enough hits. Responding to a post from 3D Realms in which he questioned whether Microsoft overbloated studios in an attempt to feed Game Pass, he says the Game Pass strategy could have worked if people would have shown up for it. Problem is they didn't have the software catalog just nowhere near as good enough for people to happily pay the subscription every month. It's the same thing in the streaming business. I'll happily pay my HBO sub if they had amazing content. But with games, new for some reason is very, very important to players. And if your new content doesn't even remotely match the quality of the old content, you got a problem. I told you, Game Pass fodder. The sequels to games that franchises that we loved, like Forza Motorsport, were worse in Game Pass than what they used to be. The games that came out, the Game Pass editions of them, Gears 5, Gears 4, Halo Infinite, were worse than the predecessors that were not in Game Pass. And Game Pass, either way, if it was Game Pass or just Matt Booty, somebody made the versions worse. Crackdown 3. Now, Crackdown 2 wasn't good, but Crackdown 1 was incredible. But the thing is that when your new games are new in Game Pass and they're worse than the games that were not in Game Pass, the older versions of them, that's a problem. But what was the big Xbox game in recent years that was good? That game doesn't exist. And there you go. And this has always been the problem. And they try to say where you play, gatekeeping, all that stuff. Wipe that shitty booty. That's right, Easy Tone. All that gatekeeping, that more people play, we all win. Where you play a game and subscriptions. Here's my new Asus ROG Ally. Here's my S. Here's my X. All the horse shit. This was the essential problem. Nobody can name the biggest Xbox game in recent years that was delightfully good. It doesn't exist. There were games that were all right, games that were actually pretty good. And then when they had a game like a Hi-Fi Rush, that was a surprise. Again, it wasn't a game that was built up and advertised. It just stealth dropped, and that was charm in that. But as soon as people say, wow, that's good, maybe we have a big sequel coming out from them, they shut down the studio. They didn't embrace. Yeah, this is the no rest for the wicked dev who's not putting his game on Xbox or the Series S because of Series S issues. And this is what they're saying, you know? These are devs saying that about Game Pass. And again, it's been the issue is the games. Like, they had good games. And then see, instead of going, you know what? You know, while there was some good games, the quality was of an issue. Xbox quality games. That wasn't just a pony narrative. There was issues with Xbox games. And Matt Booty and getting games out, like, come on. Are we going to forget that Halo Infinite didn't launch with the console? Got delayed. Because they showed Craig, which was not of quality. Then when it proceeded to be delayed for over a year, it didn't have the co-op that it was promised. It didn't have the seasonality and the free season passes. They didn't know how to make a service game after they told you it was a service game. Adding guns later that weren't there day one. And just failed, and then to remove the cutscenes of the seasons and everything. It was a disaster. And we're going to pretend that that doesn't happen and then just call names out like Boomstick is, saying, you know, Xbox Game Pass has incredible experiences from indie and second party. This is zero class and respect for other developers that call other games slop. Nobody cares about your respect, dude. But stop deflecting and making everybody, like, stop being an Xbox defense force. I just gave you the whole example of Halo Infinite, and you're going to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, dude's whack. No. You unblindly defending. Because how do you sit here and hear what Satya had to say about the Xbox business being subsidized? How can you sit here and watch what happened to Halo Infinite? How can you sit here and watch Gears 5, Kate's story, fall flat? How? How can you watch these franchises not deliver on the expectations? Just reading that frequently asked questions. Are you kidding me? This is the third remake of Halo. And they're saying no. Third person is a secret skull. Photo mode not there. Why? This is a new engine with the new graphics. Like, people should be taking photos and sharing it all over the place to hype up Halo's new graphics engine. You didn't put it in there? No. We added some skulls that remove a HUD, and you can move it around. Like, what? Like, you read the disappointment in that Q&A. And yet again, we're sitting there. This is the third remake. This should be the ultimate version of Halo Combat Evolved, because this should be the last one. This is the third time we're getting a remake. This should be like the everything's in it. But you go and defend it may have a value to you that you're paid up and maybe get free content for over a year and stuff like for 5 years stacked. I don't know. But the problem is like, you're not a developer. And this is somebody who went through Game Pass and saw their games go through Game Pass and saw how they're not going back to Game Pass. And don't you notice, like, in their show, the same Focus Entertainment, Frogs knows about Focus Entertainment, is like the same kind of like AA people walking around, a Sega game here and there. They got a game in Persona, some like Atlas is throwing their shit because they know their games are not going to sell on the Xbox. So they figure the only best way to justify them developing an Xbox version is to throw it in Game Pass and hope a bunch of people play it and convert them. You don't see a pattern there of who's going into Game Pass and who isn't? Come on, man. And look what they did to their franchises. Look what they did to all of them. They've been worse in Game Pass. That some people are screaming to take day one out of Game Pass. That's what's crazy. They want day one out of Game Pass. Like, it's just like, because they know the Game Pass cannibalizes the sales. Like, it's just crazy. And speaking about cannibalization, I'm just going to leave you guys with this conversation nugget. Is Gears E-Day being set up to fail? Now, grinders. I put together some little things here, right? First, I'm just going to give you the facts, and then feel free, as I put up the poll here, as we come to the thing, is Gears E-Day set to fail? That's the question. But let me give you the facts first. And then you tell me how they... Because this is very alarming. All right, I'm going to start the poll. Here's a conversation topic. First, the game is being released on the same day as the next big Star Wars game in Pod Racer. Star Wars, Pod Racer was a very popular franchise. Yes, it's a racer, not one-to-one, but it's a Star Wars game, and it looks fire. Same day as Gears. All right, that's low-hanging fruit there. But it is a Star Wars game, and it is Pod Racer, and it's looking awesome. All right, that's low-hanging fruit. But that's the day they chose. Same day as a Star Wars game. A new Star Wars game. The next Star Wars game. All right, that's one. Number two. Campaign of Call of Duty has a week early access, which is about 2 weeks after Gears. All right? Number two. It's coming in the beginning of October, after the crazy amount of games that are coming out in September. There's another one. Another one. Not only is it coming out after September of crazy games, it is about a month before GTA. Also, it's conflicting, like I mentioned before, with Call of Duty multiplayer and Call of Duty campaign, which are now not in Game Pass. If Gears is to make money, and they're talking about 3% accountability margins, and you're doing...
How about those exclusives?
You're pulling Gears off of 100 million PlayStations where Game Pass don't exist. So Game Pass, the game would sell, only can sell on PlayStation. The other place where games could only sell is Steam. Now, somebody said that Gears doubled its player numbers over the weekend because of Gears on Steam. Well, somebody around the numbers, True Achievements, is like, look, Gears' strong summer showing triggers a popularity spike. Up 59%. Let's go check, grinders. Is Steam going to sell Gears? Well, let's see. Steam DB. Let's check this. I need to see the facts. I heard percentages. Let's see. Gears of War. Let's see. There you go. Whoa, baby. 30 up. Grinders. It's up 39%. My goodness. What a spike. 230 in-game. Look at that spike. We went from 107 to 230. Look at this. They had 67 players on Monday. They're up to 242. Look at this spike. Look at this spike, grinders. They went from 100 to 200 to 300 people. They went from 100 to 300 people. 200 people said, let's play Gears this weekend. And they're going, look what the peak was. 4,819. 4,000 people. The max it had in 2025 when it released was 4,800 people. They want this game to sell and make money because Steam is the only other place it's going to sell because it's not on PlayStation. So Gears needs to make the 3% accountability. She pulled it off of 100 million PlayStations, saying only Xbox. Fine. You want to make business? That's great. You want this game to sell. Steam is where it's going to sell. This is your popularity. Gears is not really a PC game. It's not a PC franchise. It's not. If you were saying Starfield, if you were saying Elder Scrolls, I'll say, oh yeah, well, that'll probably do some numbers. Even Forza Horizon. But Gears has not really been a PC game. And I'm going to tell you another problem, grinders. Here's another problem. If you are a PC gamer, Gears E-Day does nothing for you. What do you say, Grindhouse? What do you mean it does nothing for me? As a PC gamer, Gears story does nothing for you. According to Gears lore, 4 and 5, we were finishing up Kate's story for Gears 6. They put Gears Ultimate, 4,000 people, 5,000 people played it. That's Gears 1. Gears E-Day is a prequel to Gears 1. And everybody's like, oh, you do Dom and Marcus again. Dom and Marcus. Well, the relationship of Dom and Marcus, and I'm going to tell you spoilers if you really care, but PC never received Gears 2 and 3. Gears 2 especially is not on PC. So to know the importance of what playing with Dom is, Gears 2's story and that whole Dom and Marcus arc is not available on PC at all. To even understand who Dom is and what the hell the reason why, what's going on, what drives him. Gears 2 was a development of that whole thing where he saw his wife when he sacrificed himself. Pause. I told you spoilers. That was big in 2. And 3, like these were like the Dom storyline went to 2. But 2 was never on PC. They never ported it over. To make it like, yo, E-Day's going to PC. Maybe we could try to get him to show why Dom and Marcus meeting each other and working together in E-Day going into Gears 1 and then eventually the Gears 2. And 3, that whole Marcus-Dom relationship. And what happened to Dom and what happened. These are huge turning points in the Gears storyline. And they're not on PC. But you're going to sell them a prequel of Dom and Marcus running around with each other before the first game. They don't even have Gears Judgment on PC, which even was a prequel to Gears 1, which you find out how Marcus winds up in jail in the beginning of Gears 1. Even Gears Judgment was a prequel. Even to follow 2 different characters, it was a prequel to Gears of War 1. 3 games not on PC at all. And it's a third-person shooter, but that's where they're focusing on the sale. You're selling them a prequel, not a continuation of 4 and 5, which you already put on PC and they're building up towards the story. You're going to sell them a prequel. That's what Asha's doing. That's what she's doing. So, again, these may be reaches, but I'm just giving you the facts. 2 and 3, Gears and Judgment, are not on PC. So, this being a franchise that really doesn't have a huge attraction on PC, it's more of a console thing. Maybe you get Xbox refugees, but this is the only place they're having this game to sell on PC is Steam and Windows Store, which don't have Gears 2 or 3. All right? There you go. Now, we come to another point. Gears itself, the franchise, is not even a big PC game. So now how do they think they're going to sell this game to make their profitability? If I'm the Coalition, I'm shaking in my boots right now because I don't know how they're set up for success. I just stacked the deck on everything of what is going against Gears E-Day. And then the biggest culprit, the Achilles heel, the knife to the top of the skull, the chainsaw to the Gears, is that it's still in Game Pass. Day one. With Call of Duty not being in Game Pass. So if you were going to buy a game, you're going to buy Call of Duty and subscribe to play Gears. And they are sabotaging themselves by pulling Call of Duty out of Game Pass, making it a must-buy to play it on all platforms, but having Gears still launch in Game Pass. And after the month of game sales that are not in Game Pass in September, people are not going to be in the mood to buy Gears. They're going to just sign up and subscribe, go through the campaign, say Shotgun sucks in multiplayer, and leave and join the Call of Duty campaign and follow Call of Duty multiplayer. Because I am sure the Call of Duty marketing will be a lot bigger than Gears. I saw in Call of Duty marketing, I have not seen Gears marketing. So that's my thing, is like, I unless they're just trying to write it off and they're just going to be like, yeah, just let it burn. I see no way this Gears could be successful. And it's not going to show up. The MPDs that month, I think you can get spillover from September games on the MPDs. You're going to get Call of Duty on MPDs because it's everywhere and it's only able to sell. No more cannibalization of Game Pass. And the only game that's in Game Pass that's launching in October from Xbox is Gears. And you're going to have spillover from September, that crazy month that they got in September. You're going to have that on MPDs. You're going to have Call of Duty on October MPDs. And I don't know where Gears falls on MPDs. And with the cannibalization of Game Pass. So what are they looking for Gears? What are they looking for? Game Pass growth? Because all those people that sign up in October for Game Pass are going to drop off in November when GTA comes out. And they're not sticking around for Call of Duty because Call of Duty's not Game Pass required. See, you could think they kind of introduced a 1-2 punch in the sense of like, oh, you'll have Gears and Call of Duty for Game Pass. That will like attract a big growth. But the problem is that Call of Duty's not in Game Pass and Gears is. So I just don't see how Coalition, the Gears franchise, I don't know. How do they roll out content and DLC? It's not a service game, I guess, to them. I have no clue. But I was just thinking, I'm like, it is stacked against Gears, everything. And that's if people still like the new movement system, if they could tolerate the shotgun. But a lot of things that frustrate people in Gears multiplayer is that frenetic, random ass shotgun shit. And people just turn it off. They're like, this is not good. So maybe Horde mode keeps people around, but again, you don't have to buy the game. And I think they should have pulled Gears out of Game Pass and said, okay, well, we'll make it an exclusive. You got to buy it. But they didn't. They sacrificed it to put it in Game Pass. And that's because Asha doesn't know. And that's the strategy. Like, I don't know. Unless somebody in the chat could tell me, am I missing something? Because those are all the things I'm thinking that's stacked against Gears. The story, PC, Call of Duty with the early access, the killer month of September, the same day as Star Wars, a month before GTA, and then Game Pass. And only on Xbox consoles and Steam and Windows Store. Now, would they made their money back if they put it on PlayStation? I don't think so. But it would have. I think it would have got them closer to trying to sell a game than not. I don't think PlayStation would have saved Gears, but I don't think it would have hurt it either. So I'm not saying, oh, Asha made a mistake by not putting it on PlayStation. No, let them put the exclusives where they want. I don't give a shit. But if you're screaming about accountability margins and hard times are coming, you know, why are you setting up one of your biggest franchises to fail while you're shutting down studios and canceling franchises? I just don't. Unless they want to thin, like I said, her job is the executioner, to thin the business and make it look good for an investor. I don't know. But let's see what the grinders say. We got almost 58 votes in here. Grinders, and they hit that like button, grinders. I think we hit our Matt Booty goal, right? Oh, we need one more super chat, and we hit the Matt Ball drop. So we'll do a Matt Ball song and put it up there. And I will be shutting the poll down in just a second. But yeah, what do you think? Did I miss anything? 400, and yeah, that 400 million budget that people are saying, oh, that's not true. Is that, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just checking. How does make it exclusive better than Xbox to sell? How does making it exclusive make it? I know. It's smaller margins. I know. That's the thing. She is the Oceanator. She is the Oceanator. $400 million and it's on Game Pass. Like, people are like, 400 million is not right. The thing is like, it wasn't a dollar bill. This game has been in development for 7 years. They didn't just spin over, like, they didn't just finish Gears 5 and they're just reusing assets overnight and they made this game in 2 years. Dude, Gears 5, what is that? Like, Gears 5 released in 2019, pre-COVID. That's when Gears 5 released. Gears E-Day is coming out in 2026. 7 years later. Yes, they put out a little DLC. 7 years later. You're telling me that was the budget? Oh, yeah, they made it with a box of Pop-Tarts? Talking about that mocap studio and all that shit. Dude, that game expensive to make, that Gears E-Day. The last Gears game from the Coalition was in 2019. With DLC expansion in 2020. That's a long-ass time, man, for a studio. Again, it's the same thing that Compulsion did. 6 years for Forza Motorsport. 6-7 years for Halo Infinite. That's what I mean. That their profitability sucked because they couldn't put out quality games in a shorter amount of time. They put out games that were missing things and it took them almost double 6-7 years to make. It is diabolical. And then on the 11th day, you're gonna be like, yep, and we're just gonna put it on our Xbox in Game Pass, right on the Call of Duty a week away. Like, yo,
You're my
insane.
number one customer.
And Game Night gets you your song with the 5. He goes, I think launching it right after a stacked September next to Call of Duty is setting Gears to fail. Xbox could have put Gears in January, Fable in February. I agree. Or they could have put Gears in August, right before the September rush. They try to capitalize on people buying into Gears while they're waiting for those September games to drop. Because maybe you could have got, like, start the season early, like how Madden does it. Oh, let's get in before all the big games come out. Let's get our game out in August. That's what I thought. But January would have been perfect too. January and Fable and Gears are two. Like, Fable doesn't have a multiplayer to compete with it, and it's clear of any kind of multiplayer from Call of Duty in January, and January is always a great month to do it. And Fable is now getting crushed in February. This Tomb Raider, tons of games are coming out in February now. Fable wanted to move for room. Fable's going to get crushed with its own competition. There's no winning for them. And the fact that it's in Game Pass makes it even easier for people not to buy it. They could just sign up for $20 and say, I'm going to try out this game and sign off. Game Pass is the problem. It's the problem, and it's never going to grow. Especially if they take Call of Duty out of it. It's not going to grow with little shit. It's not going to grow. And dude, they put Halo in it. They put Gears 4, Gears 5, Crackdown 3, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay. Like, they put everything in Game Pass. It still didn't grow. It flatlined. What makes you think Fable's going to make it grow? It'll get a little bump and then drop off. Especially if God of War's coming around next year, or The Witcher starts being talked about, The Witcher 4. Who talking about Fable? Some goofy ass buying houses and kicking chickens. And they still never talked about the story. They still never shown like a full ass mission. But when they did show a little bit, they showed a guy walking around and fighting fighting some people with old ass tropes of like, just run away and you pay off your bounty and then you'll forget you did anything. Like, what? That's the evolution of Fable? I don't think so. But again, but it is launching on PlayStation, so maybe that franchise for the first time will do something. But again, I don't think they're going to hit that Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon 6 is the quality, and I think that is going to be, that's the benchmark. And I don't know if Fable is going to hit that. I don't think Fable is going to hit that Forza Horizon level. Because you got to remember, Forza Horizon's on level is number 6, number 5. So people have heard of Forza Horizon, and it is a niche type of game that not a lot of people are making those open world realistic races. So it filled in a gap. Fable doesn't fill in any gap. It's like a run of the mill every other RPG. Like it doesn't fill in any kind of special gap that Forza Horizon did. Especially on PlayStation when all those games are coming out. And Gears, they got that what is it? They had the Space Marine too. Like, again, Gears is Gears, like, you know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do think it's set out to fail. Let's see what the grinders say as we close this poll. And thank you, Game Night, getting us there to the goal tonight. Let's end this poll here. Oops, I should have ended over here. Hit that like button, grinders. And the poll is, wow, an astounding 64 votes. Gears E-Day set to fail? 6% said no, and 94% said yes. Hey, I was just presenting the facts of what I saw Gears setting up against. And yeah, it did not look good. It didn't line up well. Now let me make sure I got everybody's chat here. Nelson Gaming with the 2, he says they were good when they were second party. That's right, when they were just making deals, Nelson. They didn't have to buy Capcom to get Dead Rising. They didn't have to buy Respawn to get Titanfall exclusive. They didn't have to buy a Tomb Raider, Square Enix to get Tomb Raider exclusive. They didn't have to buy a 2K for BioShock, for BioShock and Mass Effect. Shout out to Craig, to get those games. They just made good deals and followed up with good oversight and partnerships to get the games and content to their platform. And they and also in the same time making sure that their first party content was a reference for other people to make great games for their system. And they haven't done that. But Grinders, you earned it. You're going to get a song release. You're going to hear it right now. So hit that like button. Thank you again. Subscribe to the Gaming Grindhouse. Thank you for all the chats and interactions tonight. More coming your way this week. More VIP stuff as well. And we'll be doing a balcony show probably later this week. So here's your song. You earned it. Thank you again. You hit your goal. Xbox is Doom. Matt Ball drop. Here it is.
Matt Ball, all bark, big mouth, small mark, talk Xbox like a king, then trip on his own thing. Booty in his focus, head full of bogus. Not a smart man, that's plain. Missed the point, take the blame. He keep talking big, but the facts don't bend. Say it loud, say it proud, still ain't making sense. Xbox is doomed. Xbox is doomed. Man, keep digging. Keep digging. He's sliding loud, no playing, hands on hips. Not a man watching curves, missing signs, reading jokes like warning lines. He want clout, want smoke, but he choke on his own joke. Every flex come off wrong, every win don't last long. He keep talking big, but the facts don't bend. Say it loud, say it proud, still ain't making sense. Xbox is doomed. Xbox is doomed. Keep digging. Keep digging. Look at the grin, look at the mess. Whole room knows he's second best. One more shout, one more flop. When the joke lands, he can't stop.